Corner there. Got me on tonight. Wow. 10, 11, I missed already.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rocky, along with the Rattler himself, Steve Campbell, and our featured host of the evening, each and every Tuesday, my man, Coach Johnny Cole. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the HBCU Coaches Corner on this Tuesday. Again, guys, we have men with very busy schedules. This is much of a hobby. It's a passion for all of us, but it is a hobby. And so a lot of times we don't get to have pre-production meetings. So we have our pre-production meeting on the fly just before we log on. And so it ran a little long, and I want to apologize. Charge it to our heads, not our hearts. We want to be timely. And I'll tell you this, Coach Cole and Coach Campbell are sticklers for time. It's because of me that we are late. So I apologize for that, guys. But with no further ado, before we get started, I want to ask, Coach Cole, how you doing?
Man, I'm great, Coach. As always, man, Tuesday night is some of the best feeling I've had and you know, have an opportunity to represent HBCU schools, HBCU coaches, the past and the present, and also the future of our athletic programs in HBCU schools.
And what about you, Mr. Campbell? You guys, your Rattlers finished up their season this week. Y'all got another victory. I know your expectations were that you guys would be playing this upcoming weekend. That's not the case, but how's it going? How you doing, man? How you coping with not being in the big game?
No, man. I'm gonna say this. You know what I like about all this? You know, and everybody got various shows, and I heard 3 weeks ago, oh, FAMU's in shambles, and the coach done lost the team, and FAMU's this, and then you know what? We win 2 games. I ain't heard nothing else. Where them people at, man? You know, we ain't in shambles no more. You know, the coach, I guess, got the team back. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing, man. You just got to play the game.
Started another streak.
You know, hey, man, listen, y'all, we got to start another one. You know what I mean? We kept one going with the Florida Classic, and, hey, man, we got one down, and now we got 24 more to go to break this streak. So, so my thing is, I'm glad. But, I'm going to say something real quick, man, real quick. Hey, man, shout out to my SU nephews, man, that's in the building, man. Them boys is, been around for years and things like that. And, they came to support their own. They going to keep me straight now, Coach. Now, we got some SU folks. These boys are diehard. They're youngsters, but they know their SU business because they let me know who the starting quarterback was, because I was going to go with T-Set. I see my niece Paris in the house. She going to keep us straight about Jack State, and stuff like that. I see one of my J-Town folks. So, man, I'm just having my folks in here, man. This is family tonight.
Well, make sure they call in so I can give them. I don't want them going down there with high expectations. At least I want them to go down there with some numbers on really reality of their chances of winning the championship. So make sure you guys call in, ask the questions of what you want and where you want to be. And on any given Saturday, somebody can beat somebody.
Hey, Coach, because I was late, I'm going to take a shot, Coach. I'm going to take a shot because, and those of y'all who don't know what this is, y'all tell me what this is. And if y'all know what this is, y'all can take a shot too. I'll give y'all a minute to figure out what this is. Y'all know what this is? If you don't know what this is, you need to get you some.
Well, Rocky, we know you big time. No.
I ain't big time.
That's that. Hey, look, the bottle look important.
No, you know what that is? Anybody who knows, That's Sir Davis.
That Beyonce stuff.
That's Sir Davis. That's Beyonce's line of whiskey, and it is absolutely fantastic.
Your boy, look, I'm up on it.
That's Sir Davis. All right, Coach.
Hey, they said
wait,
that
wait, hold on, wait. I got wait a minute. Hold on, wait. We talk. Wait, hold on. Wait, Coach. One quick thing. Rocky, I need you to email that AD from Alabama State because he owed me a bottle of liquor. He owed me a bottle of liquor. He was doing all that big talk.
I thought you went up in the. She was up in the box, so I thought you went up there and addressed that.
We couldn't find him. All my regular Alabama State people was asking me what thick 36 was, where the Escalade parked there, but I could not find the Alabama State AD. Hey man, I need my bottle because my boys, my nephews from Southern are coming in town. My nephews and nieces from Jack State coming in town. We're gonna drink on that Alabama State bottle because both Jack State and FAMU beat your behinds.
Hey, Coach,
we'll
all be in Atlanta in next week.
I need that bottle, man. I got my nephews from Southern coming in. I got my niece and nephew from Jack State. We're gonna drink on that Alabama State bottle. That's right.
And Perry pulled out the apple crown. She went straight black folk on it. She pulled out the apple crown.
You know what? Paris, I'm gonna make sure I got a bottle just for you. You let me know when you get in town. I'm gonna have that bottle. I'm just gonna pull it to the side, hand out the Escalade. I'm gonna keep rolling with thick 36. Get it straight.
I got you.
All right, man.
We all need to show up next week, man, for the classic game. You know, we got to support HBCU football.
All right, Coach.
Already in the building.
All right, we gonna. You already in Atlanta. I still got some convincing to do, Coach. So you might need to help me out with that. So with no further ado, we're gonna get on the last week, kind of recap last week big games. We had a real short slate of games, which I thought I was gonna be kind of bored last week, Coach, but I was really entertained by being able to kind of like focus on whatever game was playing in whatever particular time slot. And I thought it was a quite interesting week. FAMU looked a little different in my opinion in this game, meaning that they flexed their muscle in the running game like I hadn't seen them do all season. What were your thoughts, Campbell? And then we'll get Coach's analysis.
Listen, man, and I'm gonna say this: Coach Cozy coached this team, but we knew what the issue was. It was the play caller. It wasn't the players. It wasn't that we didn't have talent. It was the play calling. We changed the offensive play calling. Then all of a sudden we running the ball. Changed the offensive play calling. Guess what? We scored with 21 points finally. So, so a lot of that had to do with, us changing the play calling, man, because there were opportunities, especially the Valley game. And I give respect to Valley. They beat us. But play calling lost that game, just plain and simple. We should have won that game.
Is it play calling or is it play caller?
Play caller calling the plays. So yes, so this the play.
So he made a change.
Yes, he made a change.
Okay,
he made a change. And I'm gonna say that. Wait a minute. Hey, all y'all Jack State folks, y'all go find my nephew Zoe, cause y'all remember. Oh, Alabama A&M gonna beat. Hey, I need my money, Zoe. I need my money. So I need y'all, all my Jack State folks, when y'all go to the mass meeting tomorrow night, tell Zoe that Uncle Campbell needed money. And all them other jokers that was talking. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember that bet. I'm collecting all my bets because I owe Tedra some money. So I'm going to collect my bets so I can pay him off too.
Yeah. Coach Campbell, anything you want to add to that?
Well, listen, one other thing too, man. I'm proud that our defense stood up. Because, again, Paris was teasing us. She said that, Zoe said Alabama A&M was going to beat us. That was the first bet. But back in Paris, my niece said England was going to run for 200 yards on us. He only had 75 yards rushing. So, man, I mean, it was just the focus. And I'm just telling you something. This is a very important game, Coach, and honestly, because as they say, a lot of time people say, well, you don't have anything to play for at the end of the year. And this is a game that we usually don't play during Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of the kids are ready to go home, but I'm really excited that both the defense and offense were focused and came in there to understand this was a very important game for Florida A&M University to make sure they did not go out on losing streak and also know to go on the offensive because they had lost this game It would have been so many more questions, so many more things. The portal would have been jumping out of crazy. You would have had people doing 9-hour shows talking about picking up trash and doing things like that, how bad FAMU is. But you know what? Honestly, the defense and the whole team came together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was exactly what you said. It was important for them to win this football game. Unfortunately, I'm still not sold. Again, family, you got to go reload. Coach Cozy's going to have to make some real big decisions on this offseason because he knows. See, and that's the difference, Bishop, and than being in the MEAC as a coach and in the SWAC. You got to score in the SWAC, coach. You got to score. You got to score. Them 17, 20, 23, 24. That's MEAC. MEAC is a power run conference. But in the SWAC, you got to be able to toss it around a little bit. Of course, you got to have some good running game. And you got to score. So, like you say, I think it was big. Anytime you win 7 games in a season, that's big. First year, 7 games. I know, the bar was set high for him. But like you said, I think Coach Cozy did a great job of circling the wagons and get those kids ready to play because they could have just laid down. On the other hand, Alabama A&M do what Alabama A&M do. They score and they give up points. I think that has ran short for Alabama A&M. I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Maynard, the week before because I called the game, and he was pretty excited about playing against Valley and looking forward to the game. So he was in good shape. I kind of had some talks with his staff. They kind of felt like they were going to get past. The president kind of made a mandate to say, hey, guys, look, I ain't going to never fire you for winning and losing unless you lose it to the schools that don't have what we have, as your UAPBs, your Mississippi Valleys. But unfortunately, I think they kind of wore on A&M that hey, guys, and me and Rocky said all the time, man, it's about championships. You know what I mean? And Maynard been right there. He been right there every year. And right, that's like the boy who kept calling Wolf, and then all of a sudden when the Wolf showed up, nobody was there. You've been right there. We need a championship. So unfortunately, I think I think they're gonna pay him his last year. Unfortunately for the assistant coaches, you got to pack your bags and move on. So that was a big win for Florida A&M and for Coach Cozy. Not so well for Coach Maynard and his coaching staff.
Yeah. Now we'll move on to the next game. We'll discuss Maynard's situation at the end of the show where we'll address a lot of the coaching vacancies that are happening in HBCU football. But this game right here was interesting as well. To me, it was the best offensive game that I seen Alabama State play all year. The quarterback was actually effective in the passing game. And I'll ask you, Coach, to start this off. Was that just a factor of was the quarterback getting better, or was it just a factor of when you play down at a lower level, just you have the talent disparity creates more opportunities for you?
I have to admit, I watched Tuskegee in person. I hadn't been impressed with them. They struggle scoring points. They're not the Tuskegee of old. This Alabama State, first and foremost, gonna go play great defense. That's where they've been the last 3 years. They're gonna give the offense a short field, which that's what they done. They cut the run game off at ASU, and one common denominator is the offensive coordinator for Tuskegee. He's been to 3 different places. He hadn't got it right just yet. Hopefully he can come back and get things going in the right direction because, once again, you got to score points, guys. You can't win games scoring 6 or 2 field goals. So Alabama State do what they do. They're a great defensive program. They took a guy that was a wide receiver who played quarterback in high school and made him a quarterback. So you got to take your hat off to that, and hopefully, they go out and either find a quarterback or as we always say, buddy, is he gonna come back or not? You know what I mean? So again, great season by Alabama State. Let me take that great back. A good season by Alabama State. Take our hats off to Eddie Robinson Jr. 3 years ago. He was selling houses. Now he's the head coach of a Division 1A FCS team. He's getting it done. He's keeping them right above water. I know they're ready to jump out, but good season for him.
Well, I'm gonna say this: Alabama State, and we'll try to talk about this too. The all SWAC team came out. They got all SWAC defensive players all over the place. I expected the score to be exactly what it is. And anything above or less than that would have been a disappointment to Alabama State. The thing about this is, Coach knows this is a rivalry game, but it's more in name now. It's not so much as a matchup because of the heavyweight, classes, as they say, the fight weight classes and stuff like that. So, I expected Alabama State to do this, to be honest with you, and things like that. They played Jackson State hard. They played us hard. They played to the level of their competition. So again, 34-6. What did you expect? Tuskegee, like I said, they're not on Alabama State level, and Alabama State made they made sure they were going to win this game. So for them, they won the Magic State Classic. They beat Tuskegee. For the Alabama State, that's a successful season for those guys.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, Coach. We'll go to the next one. This was a game I watched just about every play of this game. I'll just give my analysis of it up front, Coach. And I'll address Grambling first, Coach. Coach, I don't know that I've seen a more putrid offensive performance since I've been watching HBCU football. Being that Miles Crawley was the preseason offensive player of the year, and for this to be the performance that they put up in the final game of the season, right? I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but I know it was less than 100 yards rushing and less than 100 yards passing, Coach. Like, this was a putrid display offensively. Shout out to the Grambling defense and also their special teams, which tried to keep them in the game all game long from the very start. But again, they just weren't able to do so because of the offensive play. I thought Southern, in my opinion, looked like they've looked all season long. They benefited from some lackluster offensive play from their opponent. They were able to capitalize on a few things in the passing game, and then they got timely runs by Kendrick Grimes at the end of the game to kind of close it out. Also, kind of like the Alcorn game, in a sense, he was able to close the game out in the running game the same way. So, like I say, I can't say that I was impressed by either team. And for a team going into a SWAC championship game with Jackson State, they didn't give me any hope that this game would be close, that the championship game would be close or competitive. And I'll let you guys go from here.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Well, here was the thing. This is one of the games I had to unfortunately watch on my phone because I was lucky enough to take my mother to New York, and I was in and out. But the one thing about it, I'm gonna tell you something that what I like what Southern did. They got that freshman playing time because they know what's coming up. So, like Coach said, you're talking about the balance of the offense. Like I said, I think Woods threw for a little bit under 200 yards, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rhymes had 110 yards rushing. So, Southern, the one thing I got to give Southern credit, they know who they are, and they have not deviated from who they are the whole year. And, a lot of people talk about, hey, where they won games and, overtime games. But the bottom line is they've only lost one conference game. They are 8-4. They are who their record is. And that bodes well for them, going into next week. So, Grambling is my most disappointed team. I was really high on Grambling. I thought Miles Crawley was going to have a breakout year. And they just, after that Jackson State win, it was like I don't know what happened after that. They lost I think 2 close games. They lost to Prairie View, lost another close game. And then, just the wheels fell off. And then they come to the end of the year against their biggest rival. And I just didn't see the fight, that G-Man fight. And, then, of course, we're starting to hear reports about, coaching and things like that. And I'm always disappointed when I start hearing stuff like that, because I have so much respect for all these men. But that Grambling G, again, they are known for discipline. They're known for tough-nosed football and not making mistakes. And I'm sorry, they just didn't represent the G this year.
Is it on me now, Coach?
Yes, it is.
I think it's
always on you, Coach.
First of all, I take my hat off to Terrence Graves. He's done, a good job of winning. At the end of the day, you got to win, and sometimes, unfortunately, you got to win ugly. So I'm gonna give him that. They've won a whole bunch of ugly games, and the 8 games that they won, 7 of them was by teams that hadn't won again. I mean, hadn't had a winning season, and then the one was by Alabama A&M. The game was atrocious, Coach. And I just it's probably one of the worst Bayou Classic games I either seen or watched. You look at 9 first downs by a Grambling State football team, 14 by Southern. 148 total yards by Grambling, 387, but 180 came from passing, 209 came from 2 big long runs. This got to be better, and it's got to get better, and it's got to be better and get better in a hurry, because these 2 programs depends on fans. They depend on fans. In one aspect, Southern about to play in the championship, which is great. Again, I say I take my hat off to Terrence Graves and how he has made choices and options, not options, but make the right decisions on what they're doing in all these close games. But they got to get better, man. They got to get better and be better, and I think they can do that. I don't even never ever remember a Grambling team having 148 yards total offense. You, Coach Bishop? I remember Jermaine Johnson had that himself.
Hey man, from the wingback position.
I remember Jake Reed would have that himself.
But Coach, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, and yes. I want to keep it interactive, because we got a lot of Southern folks, but the Southern folks want to ask you this question. They're saying that's the defense that put it on them, Coach. Now, what about that? Is it a lack of that, or this Southern defense, which has played very well all year? What about that, Coach?
All year, without a doubt. I mean, defensive wise, their defensive end, he made play after play after play. But see, I don't look at it as a fan, Coach. I look at it as I'm evaluating. And when you're running the spread, Coach, and you got a defensive end that's shooting down because he's unblocked, right? Yeah. You're supposed to be reading him, right? So if he slants hard, should I give it to the back or should I pull it? So I'm with Southern. Y'all have a great defense. Y'all defense have allowed you guys to go to the championship game this week. I'm with you. I'm not knocking. I'm not saying as a whole team. I think you guys play great. I think the defense play at a higher level. Evidently, those coaches do a great job of scouting the other team. I get it. I get that. But on the other hand, like I tell you guys, when I watch the game, I watch it at a different view. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that I seen that Grambling was trying to do to you guys, I mean, Jesus Christ. Miles Crowley, guys, was the #1 quarterback pick. I know he was hurt. I'm going to give him that. He came in with so you got to protect him. So plays you got to call is be able to do what? Get the ball out of his hand. Not put him in situations where he got to hold the ball. You know what I'm saying? And this kid is getting hit by people. Southern And see, I talked to some of the defensive coaches at Southern. They run and twist up front because they know that Gramblin's offensive line don't know how to handle the twist. So you got guys hitting the quarterback flush. That's not good football. That's not good football. But yes, Southern defense, Jackson State offense, that's where the game gonna be.
So here's my deal, and I want to step in here because people really want to talk about Southern's defense, right?
Yes.
And I want to give you guys some credit, right, for being a competent defense. We won't have to speculate on how good y'all defense is this upcoming weekend. We won't. If you guys are able to shut down and control Jackson State, you will get your credit. But it's hard for me to give you credit for stopping an offense that was helping you stop themselves. It's hard. It's hard for me to give you credit for an offense that was inept, that was allowing free runners at the quarterback, that was missing blocks, that was getting the plays in late, that was, it was, come on now.
Can I get in here, Coach?
Go ahead.
McNeese State, worst team in the Southland Conference, scored 21. All right. You played Savannah State. They placed last in the SIC Division II. All right. You played Jackson State, put 33 on you. You played Prairie View. They scored their number of points, 24. You beat them 31-24. They played Nickel State, who's in last place in the Southland Conference. They put 51 on you, Coach. 51. All right. You played Texas Southern. They've been scoring 19 all year. Look at the stats. They scored their 19. Now, I remember you saying this, Rocky. I've never seen
unknown caller.
Southern University, they came in and beat the hell out of Alcorn State. They did. They held Alcorn to 14 points. That was one winning team. I'm saying your defense, your defense played ball. All right. Southern University, Florida A&M, 24 points. All right. Alabama A&M scored 20. All these are losing programs. Bethune-Cookman put 23 on you. All right. Pine Bluff 9, Grambling 14. So what, don't get so like we the 95 Bears. You're not the 95 Bears.
85 Bears.
I'm sorry. You're right. You're not the 85 Bears. You're not the 85 Bears. I'm sorry. Great. But you do play great defense. Out of your 8 wins, 7 of them was losing teams. So just slow down a little bit. Just slow down, and we're going to see what you're going to do against the number 1 offense in the country, the number 1 black college team in the country. Let's see if you can slow Jackson State down. And next week, and y'all, I want y'all to get on old Coach Cole if y'all slow them down.
So, and that's what I'm saying, Coach. It don't matter what a Grambling team that was a struggling Grambling team, y'all imposed y'all will on the struggling Grambling team. I give y'all that. If that's what y'all want to hear, y'all did that. Your defense dominated a Grambling team that was struggling on offense. Who you're playing next week, who you're playing this Saturday, is not struggling on offense.
Yeah, one of our fans say, well, we held Florida A&M to 0 in the first half. Well, last time I heard, the game is 60 minutes. It's 60 minutes, right, Coach Bishop? It's 60.
Hey, it's 60. Hey, but listen, man,
hold on, Bishop. And if you gave Florida A&M 24 in the second half, which was scoring maybe what, Bishop, 6 or 7?
And I'll tell you this. My wife is sitting here right next to me. I'm finna say something real reckless, right? I'm covering all bets straight up that you want, however much you want to bet on Southern to win the game. I'm covering all bets.
He's saying about paying his house note.
Oh,
Whatever you want to bet on Southern, I'm covering it straight up. My wife is right there. So you tell me what you want to bet. If I have to get a loan, if I have to go to my thrift savings, if whatever you want to bet on Southern to win the game, we can solidify it right here. We got. I got.
Listen. All right, now
Amari
listen.
Walker. I got 100. I got 100 from Amari Walker.
You better make sure you get all that. So listen, I'm gonna say something.
I got 100. I'm covering all of it.
Something. Now listen.
100 on Teldrick. Okay.
Listen. They're not scared to bet you, but I'm gonna say this now. Even though I had to look up, I wanted to look up. We're gonna talk about this. The championships and things like that. But the Southern, I'm gonna tell you what the Southern people are gonna say. They played Jackson State 3 times in the championship. They beat them twice. They said they're not scared. They said they coming prepared. They said they threw for almost 400 yards on Jackson State when they played them last time. They said they almost threw for 400 yards. That's what the Southern people gonna say. They said the defense is playing better than when they played Jackson State. They say they have come into the vet and won big game. That's what the Southern people are saying. Now, that's the text I've got. Now I'm from Jackson. I'm gonna say something a little bit different. But I gotta give a little bit back. I'm gonna put a little Columbia blue on somewhere behind me for my Southern folks. So Southern people.
I put my phone number in there. Text me, and I'm gonna call you and solidify the bet. Whatever. Just text me the amount and bet. That's all I need to hear, and we good.
Now, listen, I want all you all. Hey, listen, if y'all make this.
Since y'all believe in Southern, they the 85 Bears and the 91 Redskins and the 1992 Dallas Cowboys. If y'all believe all that, put your money where your mouth is.
Hey, listen, I want you. Hey, listen. Now I'm gonna say something. JSU Tiger just entered the chat, and I was about to bring this up. 4 if I have not scored in the second half. Hey, listen, that Jackson State defense, and this is what I'm gonna say to Southern. And you're playing a freshman, a true freshman, that's coming to the vet. Probably be, I don't know what the weather's going to be like. I haven't checked. I don't think it's going to be no 45, 50,000 people at this game. I think this game going to be about 30, 35,000.
Woo! I heard it's going to be more than that, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just ain't heard the energy. Well, I hope it is. 35. I don't think it's going to be no 45, 50,000 in there. I just don't. Because they haven't done it all year. They just haven't had the energy like that. There's no disrespect. I just don't think Southern's going to bring all those people up there either. I don't think Southern's going to bring all those people. But what I'm saying is it's going to be a big crowd. This kid has never seen this. And I think, honestly, to the credit of Jackson State and that coaching staff, hey, man, they on a mission. And I've seen and just watched, and like I said, they've been handling their business. They ain't have guys all on social media bop, and running their mouths and stuff like that. They kept that thing tight. And I think they understand what's at hand, because I'm going to say this again. Jackson State has only won 10 games in their history. This would be the 3rd or 4th time. If they get to 12, will be the most all time. If they win, and I'm going to say this as a Jacksonian, as a Jackson State fan, if they win the Celebration Bowl, that will be the biggest win in Jackson State here. They have never won a playoff game, and they have not won a Celebration Bowl. So TC Taylor will be making history that no other coach has done. W.C. Gordon never won a playoff game. Deion didn't win a Celebration Bowl. And I think they understand all that. So I don't think they're going to let Southern get in their way. But I think Southern, again, I think they have acquired confidence on defense, but I just don't know about a freshman quarterback.
Coach, let me say this. TC Taylor has matured as a head football coach. I think he's always been a great play caller with great defense. They've been shutting people out all year. They've been scoring points all year. They play as a unit. When I went back, I looked at all the numbers: kickoff, field goal. It ain't even no comparison with Southern. And I know you got to play the game. I know, and I know on any given Saturday or any given Sunday, well, that's what's going to have to happen for Southern to win this game. It's going to have to be the football gods, and it can't happen because I think if Coach Graves can keep the game close, he going to make the right decisions. But damn it, I don't see it being close.
Honestly, this is what I believe. I believe that Jackson State is in a game where they can go to their third string quarterback and still be the favorite to win this game.
Yeah.
Like, that's how, and think about it. Jackson State could lose their first two quarterbacks, go to their third quarterback, and still be the favorite to win this game. Like I say, on paper, this is not a matchup that shows that it will be competitive in any way.
We'll see.
And again, I don't have a school in the SWAC. I don't have an HBCU school that I'm loyal to, right? I'm a Jackson State fan because of Dion. But this is not fandom that I'm talking about. This is straight football analysis. I've watched about 8 Southern games. I watched about 9 Jackson State games. I've seen all the players. All of them.
Here's the reason why Southern can only throw the ball, but they don't throw it consistently. If you look at where they are, they don't even the quarterback threw for 1,100 yards this year. That's not so. He'll have a great game and then he won't have a great game, whichever one they play. Let me start by saying that Dillon is a 752 yards rushing, but they're not up in there. So if you divide 11 past 7, then what is that? 76 yards a game rushing. So if their passing game is not on, it ain't like they can balance it out with their run game. So they definitely gonna have to throw. So what Jackson State gonna do? Look, we got to prepare to stop the pass. All right. So that's why I'm saying, when you got a decent run game, and I know you love this, Rocky. When you got a decent run game, you got a chance.
And Coach, this
77 yards a game is not a decent run game.
This is something that you've taught me, Coach. If a team can't score the national average, right? Odds are they're not going to win many games.
Right.
Jackson State scores, I believe, 14 points above the national average. Yeah. So if they score 14 points less than their average, they still have an amazing chance to win the game.
That's right.
Because of, again, what Southern has proven, they are limited offensively. This is not Southern hate. This is not about me talking down on the team. This is simply football analysis. That's all. And I want to ask you, Campbell, am I missing something? Because the Southern faithful that's in this chat think I'm crazy. Am I missing something?
No, you're not. Listen, we got to be honest. Jackson State's the best team in the SWAC. And it's not even close in the second team. I mean, be honest with you, because whoever you want to list, I'm going to give Southern their credit because they're the West champs. They're the second best team. FAMU will be the third best team because we're second in the East. There is a big gap between Jackson State and everybody else. And what you said, and see, this is the thing why I hate about games like this. When you've got a team, you've got a quarterback that's seasoned. You got an offensive line that's seasoned. You got a defense that's seasoned. You've got guys that have been through the wars. You've got T.C. Taylor, who has been around. There are a lot of chips that start making that scale start going to the other side. So then as a team like Southern, you know what you got to do? You got to hope for things to happen. I hate when I have to hope for turnovers. I got to hope that they play bad. I got to hope for certain things like that. That is not a real good ingredient for success. Because a lot of that, because what I would ask Southern is, tell me what you do really well that's going to stop Jackson State from what they do really well. That's going to be the question. And I'm going to say this again, and I think people need to understand this too. Nobody, since this format has been a home for the home team has never lost this game. Yeah. Home team has never lost this game. So you're going in the vet with a seasoned quarterback, a seasoned coach, defense playmakers, and then what you as Southern, you're hoping to turn them over. You're hoping that Jackson State has a bad game. And that usually does not bode well. That usually doesn't bode well. Because you can't sit back and say, man for man, that we are a better team or equal team than Jackson State.
Well, one of our people said that Jackson State loaded their schedule with SIA teams. I think they played one in Lane College. But understand this: Jackson State is on the East, and the East has been the toughest of the both leagues, the East and the West, and they won the East clearly. So no, I don't think that have anything to do with JSU schedule. Everybody they played, they beat, and they beat convincingly. Let's make sure. And then the other question was I read is that will McNair have will he have something to do with? Well, McNair been there, on the offensive side of the ball, so and that's the side of the ball they struggle. So maybe just maybe he can put some things together or help them put some things together for this game because it all come down to this game.
Coach, let me ask you this, because you've had a lot of experience coaching, and I want to bring you this. Have you ever seen a team that goes to their third quarterback not because of injury and they have a high-powered or an efficient offense?
Never in my career have a team went to their third quarterback unless it was for injury purposes. And that's what happened to us at Tennessee State in the playoff game. We had to go to our third quarterback, which was a true freshman, never took a snap. And that's what happened. And of course, that was the game too. We ended up losing, I think, 14-7. Something like it was a close game because he couldn't get nothing going. I don't understand this quarterback rotation now that people are going to. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in it. I know I ain't been on the sideline, but even if I was on the sideline, that could never happen because either you allowing these kids to make mistakes or you coaching it that way. And I just feel that way. I'm not putting nothing down on nobody, but I feel that way. There's no way that you rotating through three quarterbacks in one game consistently, every other game or every game. I don't believe in that. I played quarterback, so I'm talking from taking snaps and from the gun. I was in the gun during my days, believe it or not, and I just don't believe in that. So if these guys are making that many mistakes, sometimes you got to look at yourself in the mirror, like Michael Jackson would say, it's the man in the mirror.
Well, let me ask you this, Campbell, because I'm gonna ask you this, and then Coach, you, if you want to answer. Do you think Southern's offensive staff will come into this game with pressure to put up points?
I think that's
yes.
Yeah. You got to score points to win. But see, I had to explain this to somebody. Hey, listen, this is what people, and Coach, you could talk more about this. You can't go in and put 30 new plays in a week. That's not how this works. This is not Madden. And I keep trying to explain, but they're going to come in with a whole nother offensive system. Y'all, this is not Madden. And I'm going to give you just a quick story. Coach Simmons tried to put in one play last year for the Celebration Bowl, that flea flicker play. It was like, I ain't going to call this, ain't going to work. That was one play that they tried. So you're talking about, so listen, Southern is who they are. The offense they're going to run is what they're going to run. The plays they're going to run.
They're going to run the inside zone 20 times.
They're going to run it. So the bottom line is they're going to have to execute. And, I see Blackwater Bayou said we hate Southern. No. Okay, so Blackwater Bayou, here's one thing. I don't hate anybody. But what I will ask you as a Southern fan, and you put in the chat, you tell me what advantage you feel Southern has over Jackson State. Now, since we don't know, since we are haters, you tell me as a Southern fan, you tell me where the advantage that Southern has. Because I'm going to tell you what Jackson State has. The quarterback, the offensive line, the wide receivers, the coach, the deep, I'll call that, you know what? I'll give Southern that on a push.
The D-line?
Yeah, and listen, no, you know what we're team because they got the defensive player of the year. That's what they're going to holler out. That's the reason why I'm saying that. They're going to say we got the defensive player of the year, even though I believe Jackson State has a better. So what I'm asking you is, we're not hating. We're sitting up here watching the players play. We're watching them. So if we're hating, I'm asking you respectfully, you tell me what you think that Southern is that they do better than Jackson State. I'll wait. Go ahead, Coach.
And Coach, and this is what I want to say. I want to be complimentary to Southern in this regard. Y'all have provided me with seriously the best football game day experience I've ever had in my life at Southern Homecoming. The best game day experience I ever had in my life. And I want to give y'all a shout out to that. Like, that's amazing. And then I watched the game where your defense controlled the game, and y'all, in my opinion, your offense played way above their head against Alcorn State, and they were able to win the game, right? So shout out to Southern, whatever. But no team that I would say this, and this is what I'm going to really hang my hat on. If Nichols plays Jackson State beats Nichols by at least 14. And they beat y'all by 51 points.
Also,
my eyes are not lying to me.
Also, Jackson State would have beat McNeese as well. One of the worst teams in the Southland Conference. They'd have beat them too, Coach.
So again, I'm not being hyperbolic or anything like this. I think Jackson, you got to understand, Jackson State, in my opinion, was nose to nose on a competitive standpoint with ULM. Yeah. Right? I believe there was some strategic malpractice in that game that led the game to being a little more, the score being a little more, them losing more than what they should have. But again, Jackson State is not only a good coach team, they're a talented team. And there's no way. Okay, let me ask you this, Southern. Since you don't agree that Jackson State would have beat Nichols by 14, what's the score of Nichols versus Jackson State then?
Whew.
And Rocky, let me jump on something, because I want to just throw out something. Jackson State is coming in this game averaging 36.8 points. Southern's averaging 21.6. On defense, Jackson State's only giving up 18.3. And I know they had a streak of 3 to 4 games that they didn't let anybody score in the second half.
Right.
Now Southern is right behind them at 21.8. And that's where the disparity is at, on the offensive side of the ball. That's the thing where this game can get out of hand. So again, to Southern, I will say this. If Grambling gave everybody the playbook how to beat Jackson State. You got to get a lot of turnovers to get a pick six, right? That's how you beat them, a SWAC team. So if you need to go watch that tape
and you got to convince them to play 2 quarterbacks.
There you go. So there you go. Which I don't think is definitely going to happen. I think TCU understood that after that game, that Jacoby Morgan's the game manager of the year. Let's play him.
That's
so
right.
there you go. So the bottom line is,
Coach, and I don't mean, and they took off. They took off. When they said this is going to be our guy, they took off.
Yeah.
And the kid played with a whole bunch more confidence that he wasn't afraid to make a mistake.
So
I saw firsthand in the Jackson State game, because that kid made play after play to win that game in that fourth quarter.
Varric brings up a point that I think proves our point, right? McNeese blew out Alcorn, right? We agree with that, right? But was the Jackson State Alcorn game a 3-point game, a 2-point game, a 1-point game?
No.
It was a 38-point game. So I consider that a blowout too, right?
Shit, that is a blowout.
So McNeese blew out Alcorn and Jackson State blew out Alcorn. So I'm saying this, guys. And again, I'm just saying this on paper. And I know the game is going to be played at the Vet this Saturday. So it won't be played on paper, and nothing we say tonight will make any impact on the game that'll be played this Saturday. What I'm saying is, on paper, even though Southern is 7-1 in conference, 8-4 overall, on paper, it's not even close.
You know what this remind me of, and you appreciate this, Bishop. This remind me of is when Prairie View took their ass down there to Florida A&M, thinking that it would be different, and it wasn't no different. I just don't think it's going to be a different. I watched the whole Bayou Classic, and I did it on purpose so I can get a feel of Southern and what they do, and they do play some defense. They got some kids that make some plays, but I like what TC Taylor do. You know, I played against a kid that played at Alabama A&M, guys. We were just talking about it. He played defensive end. Y'all remember who I'm talking about? I get his name. He went on to the pros. He played defensive end for Alabama A&M. He was a monster.
Mathis.
And if you know something about SWAC football, Mathis was an undersized guy that went to the NFL and was a bitch, coach.
He was a problem.
He was
a whole problem.
Coach, I ran Eddie around him, underneath him. Everything that he was good at, coach, we ran right at him. If he got upfield, we shuffled underneath him. If he slanted hard down, coach, we faked the ball and pitched it on the outside. He didn't know his elbow from his asshole, and he'll tell you that today. And I know Southern got some defensive ends. Them must come down. They can play, coach. They got some linebackers that can play. They got the secondary.
Jackson,
and even at the secondary, now remember, number 21, he can't even play until the second half. He got put out of the game with Spear. So good coordinators attack those type of guys. And instead of making them just tee off, you run at them enough that now they thinking, you know what I mean, instead of reacting.
I want to look at Kelby Givens' stats against Jackson State the first game. I really wish I could bring those up.
Just hold on.
I think I had to pull it up because I was just looking. Actually, it's fun that you said that. I have.
Just hold on. I got it pulled up right here. But y'all go ahead. I'm gonna pull it up.
But I don't think he had any sacks.
Well, he had 5 tackles, 7 total, no sacks.
Yeah,
that's Jackson State. Matter of fact, it didn't look like anybody from Southern had a sack that game.
Man, I've seen Southern run some twists against Grambling, and the guy twists and run wide open and put his helmet right into the quarterback's chest. Not one time, several times. And you got to be better on the offensive line of handling those type of twists, especially when you want to throw the football.
Hey, Coach, hold up for a second before we continue this conversation. Hey, let's get some likes right quick. We just want to get a few more likes tonight, man. Can you give us some likes? We trying to get as many people in this joint as possible, man. This is a great conversation we're having, man. And the Southern people fired up, the Jackson State people fired up. Can we get just a few more likes as we continue this conversation? It's a dope conversation. I appreciate everybody on it today, man. And as we about to finish up the conversation about the SWAC preview, and we're gonna open up the phone line. So can we get a few more likes before we move on with the show?
Let me see some guys. We're talking about man, give me some of that music, coach. Damn, give me some of that music, too. And we're talking about the SWAC Conference Championship Game is down to 3 HBCU, South Carolina, Southern University, and Jackson State. All 3 blue bread HBCUs, man. If we don't love ourselves, coach, then damn the Big 12, damn the Big 10, damn the SEC. This SWAC football, baby.
All right, cut the music, because I got to ask Coach, so cut the music. Now, Coach, listen. You are actually a SWAC championship coach.
Yes.
Nobody else in this chat can say that. Nobody on this screen can say that. So I'm going to ask you, because what I do like about Southern people, as they say, they are not scared of Jackson State. So what I'm going to ask you, what is Coach Graves, not the X and O's part, we know about the execution, but what is he telling them from a psychological standpoint, being the underdog that they're going into the vet? What would you be telling your team?
See this what I got over those Southern fans. I know Coach Graves. I know him personally. I know when he played at Winston-Salem, stayed under Pete Richardson, which coached me in high school, as well as you guys know, I coached on him at Southern University. See, he laying in the wood. He laying in the trees on us, Rocky. He know, yeah, let Cole say this. Let Rocky say, let the coach's corner. Yeah, he gonna use all this. You know what I mean? He gonna use it all, coach. And he gonna say they ain't giving us a chance. We baby blue and gold, baby. We Southern University. We run this South. We just gotta play with our eyes and feet. We gotta make the big plays. Everybody gotta do their job. And guess what, baby? We gonna shock the world. It's us against the world. So I know he gonna build off of this. You know what I mean? And he might even show some of his players. You know what I mean? And then I know the D-line coach guy, Chris Scott, worked for me at Tennessee State. He played linebacker for Southern, D-line coach. Because they're gonna use these things, you know. And that's what I would be saying, guys. We gotta slow them down. We can't make no mistakes. And nobody expects us to win this game but us. So when we walk up there in Memorial Stadium, don't look around, just look at each other. We got to block, tackle, and run.
Coach, all that sounds good, Coach. That sounds amazing, and I know they're gonna be fired up and ready to go. But what are they gonna do when Irv Mulligan, Jacoby Morgan, True Thompson, all those guys run out that tunnel on the vet? Does any of that matter once those guys run out that tunnel?
Well, Coach, you know, hey, I'm putting my 11, you put your 11, and on any given Saturday, Coach, you know, things can happen. Things can happen, and that's the plus of Southerns. If the game is close, count on Southern. If the game is close,
I can't even. Coach, let me. You know the reason why I can't. And I got correct. They say he's a redshirt freshman. I was looking at it. They say it was a freshman, so they have it listed wrong. You telling me that if the game is okay, when we say close, does that mean Southern's up by 3 or down by 3?
Up.
Okay, so we're going into the fourth quarter. So okay, so I live this horror in the vet. We're up. 5 minutes left, Coach. The boom is quiet. Zoe ain't rocking him and kid. I ain't even see him. I said, Coach, we gonna win this game. I looked him up. It was all 8 of us, all 8 FAMU people. We gonna win this game, Coach. And that True Thompson knocked Daniel Richards' goddamn head off. And the boom started booming. And Zoe started running his mouth again. And Kid Clark turned that hat. And bro, that doggone vet got rocking. Coach, I'm trying to tell you, 3 ain't enough. We had a quarterback that had started 45 games. And it wasn't enough. So I'm just telling you, a freshman in the vet against Southern with another band playing. I'm just trying to tell you, Coach.
You know what? You better say the Sonic Boom. Don't be talking about no other band playing. That's
no. I'm talking about Southern's band. You know, I'm saying other band. You know, with another band, we weren't there. So I'm just saying the environment is just going to be different.
And that was Daniel Richardson's worst moment in the SWAC that I saw.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Maybe
that quarter. Those last 5 minutes.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, with a seasoned quarterback, and those kids made a play, and all I'm saying is, and I'm just thinking, Coach, and now just go back, Coach. What do you have a freshman, redshirt freshman? Just call him freshman. We ain't gonna get into the semantics. How do you get him? And he's looking around, and it's loud. The boom is booming. You got all these pom-pom away. What do you tell a freshman into that point when he comes out like Daniel Richardson did, and you say, "You're Coach Great. We got to get a drive here to win this." What plays are you telling? What are you trying to give him to be successful?
Well, one thing I told him to focus on one play at a time. You know, have a short memory. Our game plans got to be around what he can do best. You know, we're not going to create nothing. We're not putting in 12 different plays. Now, the only thing with me, and I don't know with other defensive coordinators, but I know I'm kind of rare because, Coach, I have a whole bunch of Chinese touchdown trick plays that I've been working on since we showed up at camp. So we run them, just like their regular plays every day for 3-4 months. That we run these plays every day, the last 5 minutes of the game. That means everybody knows who's in the game. Everybody knows what's to play, the integral parts, the little things that happen. So I'm always got about 10, 11, 12 of those guys. Throw back to the quarterback, toss back, reverse, triple reverse, double reverse pass, halfback pass, toss back. I got a whole bunch of those. Old lonely cat come over like you running off the field and then run down the field. Coach, I got a whole bunch of them that I work every day to keep teams off balance, Coach. You know what I mean? So that would help you well. And make sure that he does and call the plays that he does best. And you decide, what's my best options of winning this game? Is it offense or defense? So that means what? I'm gonna make Jackson State, travel long, make sure we play field position, and make sure I don't put my freshman quarterback in those bad situations.
Rocky, do me a favor. Pull up any one of these comments from these Southern people saying he played in front of 60,000. Any one of them, because I want to address this. Okay, so okay, just right. Okay, Southern people, are you telling me that the Bayou Classic that you all were favored in a controlled dome where people really were not into the game, where there was nothing on the line because you knew you were going, and comparing that to the vet that's going to have more Jackson State people, and the weather is going to be okay, and you're telling me that it's going to be the same environment? Come on, Southern people. Now y'all know that's not the same. You're talking about a championship game in
that game. He threw 17 passes.
I just can't believe that they're trying to compare. And I understand the amount of people. I'm talking about the environment and the pressure.
He threw 17 passes in a game that they were leading most of the game.
Thank you. And the reason why I use our game, because if you were in that stadium, FAMU, you could feel the pressure of that game. You could feel it. You saw all those Jackson State people. You said, if we don't get it right here, we're going to lose. You could, as a fan, you could feel it. It's going to be totally different in the SWAC Championship game compared to the Bayou Class. So, yes, he did play in front of people, but you're not going to tell me it's the same experience playing in the vet when you got 35, 40,000 crazy folks from Jackson screaming at him. It's not going to be the same. Not going to be the same.
Well, and let me say this, guys, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. He wasn't impressive. The kid that caught the touchdown to go up to 24, he caught a backhand circus catch. Right or wrong?
You're correct.
He correct. He caught a circus catch. I didn't believe he had it. But before that, it wasn't like he was throwing darts. It wasn't like he was boom, 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 boom. Let's go down the football field. And he played against a real bad Grambling offense that really he had possession. He had field possession. He didn't take the team 10, 20, 80 yards, 90 yards for scores.
I will simply ask this question to the people at Southern. Right? You guys put up 24 points when you guys rushed for 209 yards. Y'all will not run for 209 yards on Saturday. So how many points will you guys put up, maybe putting up 125 yards rushing?
And that's still, that ain't bad.
But I'm just saying, they put up 24 points against
Let me give them their chance, Coach. Here's you guys' chance. Is that Jackson State turns the ball over. Is that I've said it before and I say it now, but I don't doubt it because I've said also that Coach Taylor has matured as a head coach because I could say that. Y'all can't say that. I could say that. And he believe in winning instead of stats. That you hope that they turn the ball over and give Southern short fields. Because I don't have enough confidence in Southern's offense that they can drive the ball 80 yards and score on a consistently basis. So that's my take on that.
It's tough. Listen, and like I say, and Southern people, you're supposed to do exactly what you're doing. So first of all, I'm not going to disrespect that you believe your team's gonna win. I said the same thing about FAMU. Ain't nobody gonna get me off my mark, so I'm not gonna sweat y'all about getting you off your mark, honestly. But what I'm asking you all an honest question. When you're looking at the game, where do you see your as somebody? I think I heard Zoe say your path to victory. Him and Perry were talking about paths and roads and everything. What is your path? Because I would like to know, because I have watched Southern play. FAMU actually played Southern. FAMU actually played Jackson. So I can sit back as a fan and as a person that watches these games to say I got a pretty good taste of what I think to beat Jackson State, and I know what it took to beat Southern because we beat Southern. So what I'm saying to Southern people is, to me, if you're going to beat them, I think you're going to have to. Hey, I don't think you're going to run the ball on Jackson State like that. I think you're going to have to pass the ball, Coach.
Yeah, no, ain't no question, Coach. Ain't no question.
Well, maybe okay. Let's say this. Let's be optimistic here. Maybe they figuring out that they can deliver the same kind of defensive performance that Alabama State delivered a couple weeks ago. Is that possible?
You're asking me now. Guys, here's the other thing I'm speaking from too. I know the personnel of Southern's defense. I know the personnel, and some of the personnel have, to me, is questionable, especially in the defensive line. But here's what I want to ask our people who watch it. And I'm kind of selfish because I like seeing good football games. I think Jackson State is the best representative of the SWAC. I get against South Carolina State, who I think is the best other black college team. I think the Celebration Bowl should be played against South Carolina State and Jackson State. So I like my fans that who they think is the best two black football programs in the country right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Take your heart out of it. The two best black college football teams right now, and the way they playing, is Jackson State and South Carolina State. They've been consistent all year.
Coach, that's a great segue into this game that I saw this past weekend. I saw Tennessee State play, and they would be competitive against Jackson State or South Carolina State. I don't know, and they could win against both teams. But a special team, but their special teams was so bad that game that I don't know if they could, with that kind of special teams performance on that stage, they could beat either South Carolina or Jackson State.
Tennessee State?
Yeah. They had a horrible special teams performance. I thought they did decent defensively.
Coach, I'm going to disagree with you to the 10th power. Tennessee State cannot hang with neither Jackson State to me nor South Carolina State. It ain't even a question to me.
Okay.
That was just my input, but go ahead. We all entitled to our own opinion. I don't think they play the schedule that these teams play. I think the Ohio Valley Conference in the Big South is down. I think this NIL and all this has hurt the Big South and OVC Conference. I just don't see it. It's nothing about Tennessee State that has impressed me. And like I said, they're not the Tennessee State of old, where they playing the Florida A&Ms, the Jackson States, the big time schools in our conference. They play Pine Bluff, BCU, and Lane College, and Mississippi Valley. And if you put all those teams together in the last 5 years, they ain't won damn near 2 games. 4 or 5 games. But I do give them their credit. I think just the Big South and OVC is weak. If it's SEMO, UT Martin, and now it's Tennessee State. It used to be Tennessee and Tennessee Tech. So I do give them, Rocky, that they left the bottom and they have moved up. But I don't think they can handle no South Carolina State and no Jackson State and no North Carolina A&T. I don't see it. That's just my.
Yeah, never say we can't say North Carolina A&T.
Did I say A&T?
Yeah, because Trey Oliver is going to
Hey,
have a speed dial.
That's what we say IndyCat.
Yeah, so just let you know, because Trey Oliver going to call us all about that.
North Carolina Central.
Yeah. It was just my analysis. I thought they had a really good showing, Coach, against Montana State. The game could have been really competitive had it not been for special teams blunders on their part.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Coach. I have to be honest. I'm a little. It's a little personal to me. Because I coached at Tennessee State when we talking about Eastern Kentucky. UT Martin wasn't even a thought of. SEMO wasn't even a thought of. It was some teams in there that really got after it. You had to come each week with your A game, and then we turned around and played the Florida A&Ms every year in Atlanta. We played the Jackson States in Memphis. You know what I mean? Can you imagine? We played the North Carolina A&Ts that was winning the national title.
Well, to your point, Coach, Tennessee State and South Carolina State do have a common opponent. Tennessee State lost to that opponent, and South Carolina State won. So you may be on to something there. South Carolina State defeated Tennessee Tech at home.
Well, thank you very much, boy. I almost lost some touch, man.
So you may be on to something, Coach. Like I say, I give that Tennessee Martin victory that well, I guess they didn't have a victory against Tennessee Martin. They lost to Tennessee Martin. So you might be right, Coach, in that maybe they would be overmatched against South Carolina or Jackson State. Maybe you're right. But I thought the games would be watching them on TV, I thought the games would be competitive. Go ahead, Coach.
For some of our watchers, won't they? And we need to go on to these openings, and all our listeners, while you guys are texting and stuff, won't y'all put down the score of the Jackson State Southern game gonna be? I think 31-14. That's what been stuck in my mind. 31-14. What about you, Rocky?
I'm thinking. I'm really thinking the game is going to be 44-10 is really what I think.
All right, Big Bishop.
Hey, man, listen. Northside Drive to Hanging Moss to State Street to West Street takes you to the vet, bro, from where I'm from, one way or another. Them boys is going to roll, man. Listen, they know what's on board, man. I'm sorry, Southern. I just don't see Southern scoring over 14 points. And I think it's going to be 35-14. I don't think they're going to run up on Southern, but I think it's going to be 35-14. I think the 14, they might get a 7 in the first half and 7 in the second half, but I don't think it's going to be where it's going to be 14-14. Jackson State just roll on them.
So if Grambling blocks a punt, what do you think Jackson State special teams is going to do?
Wow. Well, listen, here's the thing. Because Coach knows this, blocking a punt, that it takes a lot to happen with that. That's why you don't see it happen every week. So, I don't put too much into that. But what I will say is I know Jackson State can run the ball. That travels.
But Campbell, don't think they ain't preparing to go block.
Oh no, they're going straight to that. Oh no, listen, they saw something. No, I'm not saying that. But to Rocky's point, I think that again, a lot of things have to come into play to because if that was the case, you could look at somebody and block somebody every week. Then, if that's the case, but I'm gonna tell you what I do know that. Hey, Irv Mulligan is going to run that ball. Jacoby Morgan is going to have one of those Jacoby Morgan. You're going to have about 60 yards rushing. You're going to have almost 200 yards passing.
And don't think T.C. Taylor ain't got several them Chinese touchdowns in his back pocket.
Man, listen, that kid Terrell, man, when they put that kid in motion and got him going funky like he did against FAMU, and everybody's like, oh, where's he at? Hey, man, I saw that firsthand, Coach. I saw it first. Everybody was screaming that little kid's name. He didn't even touch the ball, but he was just that effective moving around. And, yeah, we didn't kick it to him either. We made sure that we wasn't stupid.
But, guys, we gonna if it's okay with you, Rocky.
Yeah.
Look,
Hey, it's your
we're
show,
gonna start
Coach.
talking about these openings. We want these phone calls. Man, what kind of music you play? What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the music, Rocky. We get it.
My bad. Y'all getting the mute. I thought I cut that out. Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on.
Look, hey, they're gonna have to start subscribing
disconnect.
so we can get a producer guy to handle all that for Rocky can just be focused.
Now, listen, and I'm gonna say this to all my Southern people. I need y'all to call in
All
and
right,
defend
now-
your school. Hey, wait, to the Southern people, Rocky.
Now she'll be off.
Listen, to the Southern people, I need you to call in and direct your ire at Rocky. But that man has been trashing y'all the whole night. The whole night. Now,
Hey,
you
we
need
got-
to call that number and tell him something.
Hey, we got our first caller from Houston, Texas. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening.
Huh?
Good evening, sir.
From where?
Sir.
What he got?
Yeah,
What he got his phone on? What he got?
Man, you breaking up. You breaking up bad, brother.
Sound like he under FBI investigation.
Can you hear?
Hold on. Let me get this right, man.
All right, come on, Southern. Don't y'all be calling him on the Obama phone. Y'all got to make money down there now.
All right, what about now, man? Go
Okay,
ahead.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead, man.
So, I'm not Southern or Jackson Street. But
Why is he?
Hey, brother, call back in, man. Listen, go to the window, hold the phone up like this, and then call us back.
Somebody got their phone on.
Yeah, Rocky, go to the have him to call back.
Yeah, let me hold on a second.
Southern folks say you're doing this on purpose.
No, I'm definitely not. All right, go ahead, Coach. You good?
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been getting some scores. So right now it's still look like, damn, Coach, I'm hearing myself talk.
What did you say?
Echo. Coach has an echo now.
I hear your echo.
Hold on then. Let me get it straight.
Man, that's why we need to subscribe and plus a couple of $4 or $5. Everybody that's coming in, we want to take this, guys. I want to take this. Guys, listen, man. I want to take this show, man, to make us look so good as Black folks that we so big that I ain't gonna say we trying to recruit or compete against ESPN. But man, we need to do this damn thing. Me, Rocky, and the Bishop need to get on the road and bring this shit to you guys live, first class, the works, man. But it's gonna take the money to make us do that. So make sure you subscribe and get this thing rolling. I'm just excited, man, that we got a platform, Bishop. You know, when me and you was coming, shit, we barely got the chance to see Black college on TV. We had to, if you weren't at the goddamn game, you didn't know Doug threw for 5 and McKenzie threw for 6 and McNair and Willie Todd and shit, all them damn quarterbacks, man. McKenzie at Jackson State. You know, they don't know about none of them cats, man. But guys, we want to bring this right into your living room. So are we ready, Rocky? Rocky done went off, Coach.
Well, no, this is what hey Southern folks, this is what Rocky betting y'all because he gonna buy a new soundboard off y'all money that he betting y'all, man. that man said he taking all bets. That man said he taking every bet that Southern folks got. And Rocky, we can't hear you either. No, still can't hear you.
Edward Moore say, use your own money like my cousin with the Jaguar Journal. All right.
Well, no, what I'll say to y'all is y'all need to go ahead and support Perry and give him some money and support that brother. Y'all got that brother working hard. All that money y'all got ain't sponsor that man. Now, how about that? That's why I'll challenge you all that.
Yeah. Somebody hollered Robert Kent. Yeah, I played against Kent.
Hear me now?
Yeah, no, you didn't play against Kent. You coached against Kent.
I mean, I coached against Kent, and I beat Kent too. We put 68 on them, Bishop. We put 68. They scored 61. We had 68, Coach.
Hey.
I had Darnell Kennedy though, a great one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear the guy from
Coach McKenzie? Man, I used to watch Coach McKenzie coach.
Hold on a second.
He won #1. They had
number
a great
one
run game. And Coach, you know what I used to like? What McKenzie used to do? He used to fake that dive up the middle to his tailback, Coach, and put that thing behind his back.
Right.
And man, nobody knew where it was. John McKenzie, Coach. Then he used to come up with it to Burkett them down the field, Coach. That's
#1.
Man, John McKenzie.
Listen,
man.
And then my favorite quarterback all time took out Shannon Boyd, but McKenzie and Boyd, boy, them boys there had that thing rolling down there.
Yeah. I got in touch with Jackie Walker. I want to shoot a shout out with him. You know, my man, big old linebacker, about 6'4", 6'5". Guys that I played with, Bruce Green, Daryl Colbert, Donald Narcisse. Shout out to Tremaine Johnson, Willie Totten, Jerry Rice, DeBolivo. Coach, I know them all, man. I've been around, man. You guys just don't know that this conference has put out some greats.
Well, Coach, you know, it's funny. They were talking about yesterday and talking about competition. And, Coach, I'm going to ask you this question because Zoe is here. I'm going to ask you a question. If Shadur Sanders doesn't leave Jackson State and he plays 4 years at Jackson State with the talent that he's shown, is he a first-round pick at Jackson State?
From HBCU?
Right. And all the guys that would have come to Jackson, you got Travis Hunter and all the guys that would have come to Jackson State.
No, I think no. I think he would have been a second round at the top of it. I won't think he'd have been a first round quarterback. I think he would have been at the top though. Now you know I had a guy at Lane College, as you all know. Hey, baby. Excuse me, guys. But I think guys know, I had a third rounder at Lane College.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, quite naturally, I think that he would have been top of the second round. I really think so.
Now let me tell you this. I talked to a scout. Hold on, Coach. I want to get to you. I want you to answer on this point.
Okay.
I know I have several friends. I talked to a scout about this. Okay. And let me tell you what he said. He said, talent is talent. Competition validates what we think is talent. So I thought about that, but I have seen. So what my thought was this: if Shadur would have, because he would have put up monster numbers at Jack State, right? 4,500 at least. Travis Hunter going crazy.
Muted, man.
And I think that with the level of teams that they probably would have played, I think they would have scheduled a little bit different for his senior year. I think that he would have had outside shot being a first round pick. I don't think he would have been a top 10 because I think that does come with playing in the 5. I think he could have been at the bottom of that first round coach playing in Jackson State.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you. I'm saying
all right, we got a call on the line,
okay.
So whenever y'all ready.
No, go ahead.
You want to take the call or you want me to?
No, go ahead and respond.
Go ahead and respond.
I know a professional scout. He's the director of his division in scouting. And we talked about Shadur Sanders all the time, about where he at. He don't even have Shadur in his first 5, all right? But I understand why.
I can believe that.
It ain't about the yards. What scares him is that, and this is it's a self-inflicted that he's a stat chaser. He's a stat chaser. And in the NFL, you can't be a stat chaser. What am I saying by that? He got hit a lot at Jackson State. he got hit a lot earlier in the season at Colorado. I actually know coaches on that staff that I don't want to say because I don't know, if they want to know, that I personally text and say, could you guys quit chasing stats and quit? If my son was one of the offensive linemen, I would be getting him out of there because y'all putting it on him that's the why he getting sacked. No, that's not why he getting sacked. Nobody is just coming straight in when they at Colorado and hitting him in the back. It's because he holds the ball too long. When a quarterback hits his back step, coach, and this is where all the pros looking at him now. When he hits his back step, he should be coming off that ball, whether it's to his primary, whether it's to his secondary, or whether to his short receiver. Never. Now I shouldn't say never. You can't consistently do that. That means you're stat building. That means you're trying to read and find the guy if I can throw the long pass and I get yards. And then as you've seen Colorado earlier, because I think Deion Sanders matured as a head coach as well. I think he had to take his heart and say, well, my son ain't, let me put my heart on the case because my son is not going to win the Heisman. So I need to put my focus on who have a chance to win a Heisman and make sure that my son don't get hurt. And as you've seen too, Rocky, remember I told you, I said, Rocky, I said, this kid has got to be able to run the football. When he played that foot in there, he got to get out, not extend plays to throw 90 yards down the field like he was doing at Jackson State and like he was doing earlier at Colorado, but to make the team win. And I can show you guys the text. I can show you the date that I texted it, that the time when Colorado turned their season around was right after that text. And I'm not going to discuss the coach that I talked to in depth, but the scout, back to the scout, he was saying the same thing, that he's stat chasing. We don't know as an NFL, you can't do that up in the NFL. You got to hit that back foot and be coming off with the ball, or you got to know when you got to get out of the pocket. But that's enough of that. That was my thing. My thing. What you thought about that, Coach?
Well, real quick, I just want to just say that. Well, this is the same thing with the scout. Shedeur doesn't have that electric arm. It's definitely not the Steve McNair level. It's not Doug Williams level, where he just had.
Is it Willie Todd level?
No, hell no, no. I'll tell you that right now. So I think Shedeur is a first round quarterback, but I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback. He's not a top 5 quarterback to me because his arm is not electric enough to me. I think he's a first round quarterback, but I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback because I just think in the NFL it just moves fast. And I've never seen him just say, "Let me just let it rip." This again, my opinion. Like I say, and that's
Coach.
Well, before I bring the callers on, I want to tell the callers, make sure you mute your background. If you listen to us on the TV or some other device, make sure you mute us, right? And then, or walk out of the room where the TV is and talk to us. Caller, with the last four.
Can I say 1 second?
Go ahead.
Bishop, I'm gonna let you have that because that's you have your opinion. Shakir can throw the hell out of that football, coach.
But he ain't got an arm, coach.
I don't want nobody to say the HBCU quarter said he can't throw. Coach, he can throw.
No. There's a difference between throwing and having an electric arm. Steve McNair had an electric arm. He does not have the same type of arm as Steve McNair. He does not have the same type of arm as Doug Williams.
He can make every throw. He can throw it out from a hash to the other side. He can throw it down. He can fly. He can zip it. He make every throw. That's just my opinion. So we're entitled. So let's go, Coach.
All right. Caller with the last 4, 6660. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Benjamin from Pearland.
Go ahead, Benjamin. What you got, man?
I have a couple things. One, I do agree with you, Coach. I'm glad you kind of cleared that up by saying nobody from the HBCU rank said that the boy couldn't throw. But he does have an accuracy. He might not be Steve McNair running, but he does have an accuracy, kind of like, well, I wouldn't say Tom Brady, but he has an accuracy. But what I wanted to ask is, going back, I'm not a Southern fan. I'm not a Jackson State fan. I just like sports. And I know y'all keep saying that Southern don't have, and I don't want to say they have a shot because I went to Prairie View. So I'm not necessarily cheering for them, but I'm not cheering against them. But there's some games that I think, Coach, wouldn't you think the Grambling game, the Alabama A&M game, the Alcorn game, those should be some games that their coaches should be looking at? Because even though y'all are blowing up Jackson State as if it's just inevitable for them to win, they have some holes that can be also taken advantage of also.
Yeah, your background got us. Okay. You finish, Edwin, and we'll drop you and we'll go to the. Oh, that ain't you. That's somebody else that called in.
No, that wasn't me. Yes, sir. Correct. That wasn't me.
Yeah, my bad. That's call him. Go ahead, Edwin. Are you finished?
Did you? No, I was asking. Did Coach or Mr. Campbell hear what I just said?
Yeah, because okay, so you referenced 3 games. You referenced the. I'm confused about you talking about Jackson State and Alcorn. Is one of the games you referenced?
No. I was saying while y'all were talking, I was just kind of going back looking. I said the A&M game, Alabama A&M against Jackson.
Yep.
I said the Grambling game against Jackson, and then I said also the Alabama State game. And so I'm not saying that, again, I was saying earlier, I'm not cheering for Southern or for Jackson State. I just want the game to be competitive. But at the same time, I do think that Jackson State has some holes that could be taken advantage of, just like y'all said Southern. And then the other comment I wanted to say, because you've been saying it, well, I haven't, but I've been saying it pretty much all year long. And I'm sure I'm going to get a little some pushback on that. But how is it that Jackson State is in the East, and they are the best team in the play, no doubt about it, but they lose to Grambling, and y'all say Grambling is cuckoo. And you say FAMU, Mr. Campbell, is number 2 and number 3. And they lose to Prairie View, and y'all say that Prairie View is cuckoo. I think when you start talking about the SWAC, I want to say, one of y'all said today that anybody could be beaten. It sounds like that's the best thing you could say. But to say one is just better than the other, when your top 2 teams have lost to the worst team possibly, or the middle of the worst team in play, what does that necessarily say about the East?
Okay. Right. Hey, I got static on my end. Did y'all get static?
I did, but I heard him because what he was saying was certain teams had lost to other teams, and he was talking about what Jackson State played against Alabama A&M, where Alabama A&M made a push late in the game. He talked about the Alabama State game that was a defensive slugfest, and and then they lost to Grambling. Okay, here's the thing, guys, and I'm gonna say this about Jackson State. Jackson State has played very well through the course of the season and I never liked when one team beat one team. Yep, Prairie View did beat FAMU. And what I was talking about as far as being the second best team, I was talking about record-wise. Now, if you want to say Southern, and I'm talking about in the East, I am giving Southern their credit for winning the West. So I'm going to say they're the second best team in the SWAC. I'll just say that even if we beat them, just so I ain't got time for the argument. But my point of it is if you look at the total body of work of a 10-2 team, and what they have done, you can't say, oh, because Prairie View beat FAMU and they lost to Grambling, they're really not as good as what their record shows. Their record shows 10-2. Their record is who they are. Now, what I will say is, and other people are not going to like this, is that their record to me is a little bit deceiving because of the close games that they have won. Those games could have went the other way, but Southern won those games. So that's what I don't agree with you on that. Not as bad. Yeah, not as bad.
Yeah, cut him, Coach.
Yeah. Go ahead, Coach.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Rocket, that might be you.
Yeah. Am I static?
Yeah, it's you.
All right, hold on. Let me get myself straight.
Sorry, for the Prairie View guy. That was Rocky messing your great take.
So how's my sound now, guys?
Now you coming in.
Still.
I'm good now.
No.
What about my sound now? How's
No.
All right, hold on. Hey, bear with me, guys.
It's done this to you.
What's going on? What about now, guys?
No. You might just mute yourself, Rocky.
My sound is still jacked up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reboot. Y'all go ahead and address with my man. I'm gonna reboot my stuff. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know. How do we sound to our audience?
Y'all good.
Yeah.
Is the audience we sounding good? Can somebody?
Because you're clear to me, Coach.
Okay, I'm clear. Well, go. So you spoke already, Coach Bishop?
Yeah, no, what he was saying was, and just to quickly go over, he was talking about the losses. Grambling beat Jackson State. Prairie View beat Florida A&M. What does that mean? And I think he's talking about the conference is a little bit closer than what he's saying compared to Jackson State being out there on the island by themselves at 10-2 and everybody else kind of being closer together. I disagree with that. I think Jackson State is the better team in the conference. I don't think there's a team close. I think Jackson State's on the island by themselves. I think they've shown that. I think the defense has shown that. I think offensively they've shown that. Yeah. So the thing about it, so yes, on any given Sunday, but so no, I don't take the premise. And also let's talk about this. He talked about Alabama State. Alabama State had the most defensive players on all SWAC first and second team. They were set to be a championship team.
I don't believe that Southern is better than Alabama State. I really believe if they played each other, Alabama State would beat Southern. I just believe that. Southern don't play the defense that Alabama State plays. Alabama State is good in the secondary as well as in the front. And I don't think you base games off of necessarily who beats who. You base games off of who's the most consistent. And Jackson State's been the most consistent, winning games as well as when you look at the numbers. You know, no team in our conference. And then, you know, I told you way back, Bishop, how Jackson State was dominate everybody. You know what I mean? They dominated everybody. They played great defense and they played great offense. So that's where we kind of make our decision. I guess we can agree on that, Bishop, that's where we're making our agreement about. It ain't that Southern don't have a chance. Everybody got a chance when that clock first quarter and it's 15 minutes, it's a 60 minutes game. But when you look at the numbers, because that's what we got to look at. When you look at the teams, when you look at the coaching staffs, you know, you got to make a decision on what you think and what you feel is right and not necessarily get your heart involved in, you know, I like Southern or I like Jackson State. It ain't about like, hey, I don't like either one. Hell, I graduated from Texas Southern. But I think I've been around the game long enough to know not to vote against Jackson State in this contest.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
You do sound much better.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully.
Who is Kevin Jackson? Wrong, Coach. Southern has an offense. Well, we hope they would have one on Saturday.
Well, Kevin, how does Southern have an offense that average of 21 points a game?
Yeah.
Now, so that's the question. So clearly, you must be a Southern guy. Are you telling me that you have watched Southern and you believe that this Southern team is an offensive capable team with the transition of their quarterback and that you all are averaging 21 points a game? Now, are you honestly telling us that?
And Bishop, now the defense have scored some points as well. That's as a team, 21 points. That ain't just as an offense. That's as a team.
Hey, guys, we got a few calls. Let's see, can we take them now, man?
Let's get them.
All right. Caller 7998. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, I'm JB, man. I'm calling from Jackson. And I've been hearing a lot of analysis on the game. And one thing I think people don't realize that they say Southern has gotten better, which I don't doubt, but Jackson State has too. After that Grambling game, and I know we had
my view that we had problems at the quarterback, changing quarterbacks up the way we were, and we had our defensive secondary. But our defensive secondary has played a whole lot better since the Southern game, since the last Southern game that we had. So everybody's giving Southern credit for being a better team, but we are a much better team. You know, Herb Mulligan, that was his first game back the last time that we played against Southern. You know, we got 4 receivers that's out right now, but we haven't lost a beat on offense because of the depth that we got.
Well,
let's look over that.
Let's be honest. The reason why y'all ain't missed a beat with those wide receivers, I believe, is because y'all are a dominant running team. And so y'all don't need as much in wide receiver. But again, y'all have a dynamic backfield. And so y'all don't depend on the pass to move the ball, to be perfectly honest with you. Y'all are dominant running team.
When you come up against a team like Alabama State, you know, and you can't run the ball consistently, you got to be able to pass the ball. And, you know, you having 4 of your starting receivers out and still being able to get the job done, I wouldn't just give all the credit to the run game. You know, you got to give credit to some of those people that have been coming in and taking up the slack for those that went down.
Okay. Hey, well, thank you for calling in, JB. Appreciate it. We got caller 2690. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. Coach,
What's happening, man? This is Faye from Jew City. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening, man? What's happening?
Listen, first, Rocky, when you mentioned about the receivers being down, actually, it does matter. I'm going to tell you why. We lost our 2 starting receivers in the second game of the season. If you go back to the ULM game, we actually threw the ball 29 times. And we want to have balance, so we actually do want to throw the ball a little bit more than what we have. So being that you lost 2 starting receivers in the second game of the season, that actually translates to running the ball a lot more. Plus, both of those receivers are great blockers on the perimeter. So then when you lose those 2, and then when you lose the 2 behind them, kind of force your hand to focus more on running the ball. Plus, starting tight end was out for the season. Backup Landis, backup receiver, backup tight end, who's playing the majority of the season. Now, I'll say all that to say this. We talk about Southern, and yes, they are better. They have gotten better. And I know people say, well, Jack State got better, and we have. But here's the thing, I want to say this. So the other caller that called in and said, well, what about FAMU losing to Prairie View and things of that nature? But we tend to overlook something. Style make fights. Nobody don't want to say it, but Jackson State is just simply not a good matchup for Southern. We're not a good matchup for that team as they are constructed right now. And that's the thing that's going over everybody's head. When it goes into what they want to do on offense, everybody's overlooking the fact that Southern best pathway to win the game is to get turnovers and to try to muddy the game up and have a nasty, dirty game, keep it low scoring, and then try to get out of it with a W. The only thing that to their detriment is Jackson State can do the same thing to them. Our defense is better, offense is better, special teams is better, coaching is better. They have a freshman starter in the championship game on a hostile road, and we just want to overlook the fact that the home team has won every single SWAC championship game thus far. So again, what pathway do they have? I can understand the Southern fans saying, yeah, it's us against the world, but I hate to say this, it's a championship game. There is no, everybody's for Jackson State, Southern's the underdog. Both teams are playing for the same thing. It's a one-game elimination game. Southern has something to lose. It's a damn championship game. You don't get a consolation prize and say, it doesn't matter. We lost the game, but we weren't expected to win. Yes, sir, please believe. Both teams are playing for something. Both teams have something to lose. It's the championship game.
So what I'll say, Zoe, and this is just to entertain your point about, Southern having a pathway to win the game, right? It has to be, the game has to look like what the game was in the whole in against Grambling. It has to look like that, where you guys are moving the ball up and down the field, but you end up turning the ball over, throwing pick sixes, things of that nature, so that Southern can supplement their inability to score the football on offense. You understand what I'm saying? Like y'all have to give them some scores in order for the game to be competitive. Now, again, I'm confident in saying this, and many people may not. Jackson State is going to have 400 yards in total offense against Southern. No doubt about it. They're going to have 400 yards. The deal is they could have 300 yards rushing, 100 passing. They also could have 250 passing, 150 rushing, right? I ask you this, Dozo. Do you really think Southern, in a game where Jackson State is faltering defensively, can Southern throw the ball for 250 yards against Southern? Can they run for 200 yards against, can they throw for 250 yards against against Jackson State? Can Southern run for 150, 200 yards against Jackson State? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are too many built-in advantages for Jackson State in this game that they're just going to be able to move the ball and get 400 yards. It's just a matter of what the configuration is going to look like.
Well, I'll say this. I would even minimize. I'm not going to make the say that we'll get 400 yards, and I'll tell you why. I think when I'll take away from the 400 yards and give you an additional 100 yards in hidden yardage when we talk about special teams, when we talk about Travis Terrell, when we talk about what Matt Noel can do on the punting end of that game. So it may be 350 yards. It may be 325, but limited Southern because, again, it's going to be a fast game because they're going to run the ball. Do I expect them also to do something that they haven't done all year to try to get you by surprise? Sure, I do. But the thing is, we have the advantage on both sides of the ball in the trenches, a significant advantage on both sides of the trenches. And again, for Jack State, it's simple, man, alignment and assignment. Because just like the first game, T-Set is a great player, knocked them out the game. Okay, in this case, you sit here and let's say they play the other freshman. Okay, if he's struggling, then what? What you gonna go to? Another freshman? And you're going to expect another freshman to come in a championship setting and to win that game? And you're going to have confidence in it? I think not. I don't think anybody outside of Red Stick, Scotlandville, Louisiana, would sit there and say, I'm confident knowing I can go to Jackson State in a hostile environment with a backup quarterback and beat Jackson State. They know what we're doing. They know that they're limited on offense. It's a wing and a prayer. Like I said, all of them sound like Jesse Jackson. Keep hope alive. But it ain't going to happen. It's going to be an ugly Delta ass whooping on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the first matchup is an indication, honestly, of how the game will go, in my opinion. The only thing about it, when the game gets out of hand, will they be able to drop back and pass the ball the way they did once the game got out of hand in Jackson, the first game? Are they going to be able to drop back and pass the ball the way that Noah Biden did once the game was kind of, out of reach?
Here's the thing about that first game. Okay, it's like if we want to sit here and put stock into, Noah Biden for 340 yards, my thing is that's fine if you want to do that, but do that on Jackson State's end as well. Hey, we played two quarterbacks that game against Southern. I mean, we played Jacoby and Morgan that entire game. That game is worse than what it is. Hey, if Irv Mulligan is starting that game and not coming back for your first game of the season on a pitch count, I mean, it's a worse score game than what it is. Also, we've changed some things on the defensive backfield because I need to remind you guys, when we played Southern, remember that whole narrative was that Jackson State get up to these big leads and teams come back. Y'all ain't said that shit for about 6-7 games now. You know why? Because this young coaching staff, who everybody talked about with this inexperience, made the necessary changes and grew throughout the season. Now, going toward the end of the season, what is it? We've got shutout after shutout after shutout in the second half. But we don't want to think about that, though, right? So we got a team in a championship game. Hold on a second, Coach. We got a team in the championship game that's averaging about 17 points a game. And you're going to see and tell me this team now all of a sudden against the best defense in conference play is going to give up 20-something points and we're going to lose? Man, look, I got beachfront property in Idaho to say if you believe it.
Can I say something? Hell, that's what I've been saying. Ain't I been saying T.C. Taylor is matured as a head coach? He's offensive coach. He's moving his team forward, and they doing what they supposed to do?
Yeah, Coach, look, after this game on Saturday, TC's initial is going to be the champ.
I'm with you. Coach, look.
But Zoe said everything I said earlier. He literally repeated everything I said. I appreciate, Zoe, that you agree with me, because literally every point that you said, you might have came late, but I literally said every point that you said, even to the point about never losing. The home team has never lost the championship game. So I think we all agree with you. But Zoe, hold on, Zoe. But let me ask you this question, because you part of the mass meeting and you be Reverend Ike folks. I need for you to go Ken Clark. What are some things that you are concerned about that Jackson State needs to execute? That's what Ken is very good at doing. You good at Reverend Ike and stuff. Tell me, what are you still concerned about, because you still have to play a game? What are you concerned
Reverend
about?
Ike is a great reference, by the way. And y'all don't know, y'all young people don't know who Reverend Ike is, but I do, so it's a great reference.
So come on, Zoe, give me the other side.
The only thing I'm concerned about is keeping my fingers on the pinstripes on the stripes of the football and not losing it. Like I said, if you go back for the entirety of the season, if Jackson State does not lose the turnover battle, we don't lose the game. The 2 losses that we have, we lost the turnover battle. Point blank period. If we don't turn the ball over, there is no pathway for us to lose.
Oh, look, Zoe, you must have just joined the show. Because that's what we've been saying all along, and I've said that 7-8 games ago when they lost to Grambling, that TC Taylor can't come out there because, see, I know how wide receivers and ex-quarterbacks, when they become coordinators, they want to throw that thing around. You know what I mean? That's their first mind thought, because I know, because I was a quarterback. But as you grow as a coordinator, which he has done, you change up your game. You think about winning football games. Now, when you become a head coach, you ain't just the coordinator, you the head coach. So I don't need numbers, as a head coach. The only number I need is wins. And so I think that's what he's done. He's doing the things that make them win. And, as you say, he stopped alternating quarterbacks. He focused more on the run game, and they've reeled off what, 7 games since losing to Grambling? So I agree with you, definitely.
That was always my point when I was calling to Scotty's show earlier in the season, was that Jackson State should focus on running the football and commit to being a running team. And unfortunately, it took them going to Grambling down in the hole to realize that those same 42 times you ran the ball against Southern, you should have ran them 42 times against Grambling, and you probably would have came out with a victory.
Yeah. Because Grambling, I don't even know, they didn't even have 200 yards offense.
No, they didn't.
They didn't have 200, they had 179 like that.
But they threw for it had about 250 yards total offense, about 250.
Okay. I know it was 179.
Yeah, no doubt.
So listen, I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and I'm gonna jump off of here. Look, a funny stat you guys may not even know, but Jackson State is going to win the opening toss in the SWAC Championship game, because we've actually won the opening toss to every single game this season, and we've kicked off every single game this season.
Damn, so you should have never said that out loud, bro. You should have never said that out loud.
So all that's to me. Here's the deal.
Let me tell you. Let me say this. I'm gonna go. We're gonna get the opening kickoff. We're gonna kick the ball off. They're gonna get the ball first. We're gonna make them work in. We're gonna make them work in out. Let me tell you, we are going to obliterate the beige bastards down there in Baton Rouge.
Well,
we're gonna win
Reverend Ike. See that? What there go Reverend Ike. See, he couldn't help himself. He had to Reverend Ike this thing.
When we get to Atlanta, we won't be black folk no more. Y'all gonna think we came of the Asian variety when we get to Atlanta. I'm out.
I
love Zoe. I know his people, but that Reverend Ike is in him. He could not help himself. He was doing fine, and he had the Reverend Ike. This is what he do at the mass meeting. That's why them folks be getting upset. So you can't.
I know he be having them shouting, running down the rafters.
Hey, man, listen. And Ken just be like, him and Ken and TD be like, Zoe, let's. Okay, Reverend.
Hey, we got caller 2269. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. Thank you for holding for such a long time. We had a lot of calls, bro. What's your name and where you calling from? You may even be a female, so I'm sorry if you're offended by me calling you bro.
I love so.
My pronouns are he and they.
Okay.
I'm fucking with y'all. No, yo, the thing about this game is, I was watching. I'm a Grambling guy. I went to Grambling, played for them back in the early 2000s. But my bad. Musa from Philadelphia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, not Mississippi.
Okay.
But I just seen that. This is the first time I've seen Southern play, and they you know what it is, man. They got really good athletes in the right places. Like their DN number 11. That dude reminds me of Parsons, the way he plays on this level. And I don't know if y'all know the guy Whitfield. Man, that catch he had falling backwards and one-handed, that dude is trouble. But the thing that's keeping me from giving it to Southern is they don't have the offensive line that JSU has. So they're not going to get those stunts that they usually run on JSU like they can normally get on a regular SWAC team. So I think that the offensive line is the difference maker because it's not so much the athletes, it's the interior that's going to make the difference. So I got it as yeah, go ahead.
No, I got a question after you finish, Philly.
Yeah, no, I was going to say I got it 28 to, 28, I guess either 10 or 13, somewhere around there.
Hey, man, you say you from Philadelphia and you played at Grambling, right? How'd you find Grambling from Philadelphia, my bro?
Oh, man, I grew up, me and my uncle and my grandpa used to watch the Classic on TV every Thanksgiving break. So I came up on it. And you got to remember, at this time, Grambling was still sending guys to the league. And
what year did you play?
It was, I was a freshman. It was 05 I went to college. So I only stayed there for one semester because I got what's that called?
Who was the coach?
It was Melvin Spears, Sammy White down there. They had Coach Ryvan Brown was the running back coach. My coach was a white guy, Coach Petiti, I think his name was. But I wound up transferring to Temple because I was Prop 48, and my grades didn't. So I practiced with them in the fall, and then in the spring. No, excuse me, it was the opposite. I couldn't play in the fall, but I was able to practice in the spring, and then my records got messed up. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be all the way out here and have to sit out a year. So I transferred over to Temple, and I finished out over there. So,
all right,
but
cool.
yeah, I came up with I basically recruited myself to Grambling because they weren't, they don't come up this far because we at the time we weren't really known for high school football. But yeah, and back then you got to remember they didn't have as much divisions. There wasn't no such thing as a Power 5. It was just D1. And we really was just getting onto that AA and 1A. It was looked at as like Grambling is a school that can get you to the league. And then they started doing all this janky stuff, separation, and, kind of got pushed to Power 5s ahead of everybody. Not to get too off topic, though. I think
No. I was just wanted. I just wanted to know how did you find because one of the things, and I appreciate you for calling, bro. And I will. I'll ask Coach the question I want to ask. One of the things that Campbell has brought up many times is that your recruiting budgets are pretty thin in HBCU football. So you aren't able to have even though you may have a national brand, you don't have a national recruiting base, right? So my point in saying that is this. I was just wondering how he got to Grambling, realizing that there was nobody that was going to get on a plane and go to Philly and recruit him. You know what I mean? That's what I was kind of just wanted to find out.
Let me say something real quick, and then, Coach, we can move on. But this is why it's so important for games to be on TV. So guess what? Jackson State is going to be able to have an info commercial on Saturday with a big crowd, and there are going to be a bunch of high school kids watching. Same thing for Southern. And they're going to be like, you know what, man, and now they've heard, and I'm talking about this new group of kids because of Dion. They've heard of Jackson State again. And, this is why we got to have games on TV. big games like this. Big brand. Southern is a big brand. Jackson State is a big brand. So that's good for the SWAC when the big brands are playing in these SWAC championship games, because it's going to bring a lot of eyeballs, going to bring a lot of people. You're going to see the commercials for Jackson State, the commercials for Southern, the J-Sets is going to be doing their thing, the Dancing Dolls, and you're going to have some kids that say, man, I want to be a part of that are from Philly, that are from Jersey, that are from Chicago, that are from different parts that are not in our region.
All right. Hey, Coach, we got another call, Coach, and then we can talk about the vacancies after we take this call from my man all the way from Monroe, Louisiana, Mr. Hunt.
All right,
What's going on, my brother?
Good evening to you all. It's been interesting. I know you had the SWAC football championship coming up and many other games coming up. Junior Union, Valdosta State, the Division II playoffs, and it's quite interesting to see what's been going on in the HBCU world. And looking at Miles College, shout out to them. And Tennessee State, I know they came up short, but it just shows you, hey, the talent's still there. And I was listening to Coach Cole just talking. He was talking about John McKee. That's something you talking about. I know I don't want to go off topic, but you're talking about coaching vacancies, and seeing what's happened at Alabama A&M, and seeing what happened at Delaware State. And that's something you're talking about. John McKenzie, the old stomping ground where he used to be head coach at Delaware State. I see they terminated Lee Ho, and what people I've been telling you all, you three, that it'd be great if he's still with us. Get in touch with Bill Kulick. Young people need to hear his story. A lot of people don't know that Delaware State used to be Bill Power. Think about John Taylor and that played there out there. And some of your callers are saying he's from Philadelphia, and that's close to Philadelphia, Dover, Delaware. That's where they used to get that talent out of Philadelphia, New Jersey, and all that area. And I think about it, he had a white coach that put the wheels into motion named Joe Perzicki. He and Bill Kulick were both they were products of Tubby Raymond at University of Delaware. And then let's not forget, rest in peace, Al Lathan, what he did there. And he had great teams there. He coached in the NFL circle. And it's interesting to see what the coaching situation will look like after Connell Maynard was let go. I didn't mean to be long-winded. I know you have a lot of callers out there, but that's why I just wanted to throw out there.
Hey, I appreciate you calling, Chuck. And Coach is going to give us an update on all the vacancies. Thank you for calling, man. We'll get to these vacancies right now.
All right.
Go ahead.
Great conversing with you all. You take care.
Thank you. All right, Coach.
I got to give a shout-out to Reginald Stubblefield, one of my former Tennessee State players, man. So I want to make sure I give a shout-out to him, while we're on the show. So power to Reginald. He played with us at Tennessee State. But go ahead, Coach. What we got going this segment? Going down.
We in the vacancies, Coach. Can you give us some updates on the vacancies? When last week it was 4. It was Elizabeth State. It was Odoms over at Norfolk. It was I'm
pulling it up now. Give me 1 second, Coach. But it's been some.
It was Lane. Lane was open.
Okay, here we go. We got in the FBS. We got East Carolina, Kennesaw State, which now it's been a black college guy, Jerry Mack. Jerry Mack went to Jackson State, coached at North Carolina Central. He got his first opportunity there. He coached at Rice. He coached at Tennessee. And now he's the head coach at Kennesaw State. So our hat want to go off to Jerry Mack. He actually is the 4th black college coach to get a Division 1A job. So that's history that was made.
Kennesaw State is Division 1A now?
Yes, Division 1A now. Rice is open. Southern Miss, Ball State, Central Michigan, FAU, Fresno State, Temple, Utah State, and Tulsa. Also back to Jerry Mack. There's the other 3 coaches that left. Jerry didn't leave HBCU and get it. He ended up going to where'd he come from, Coach?
Who?
He was Jerry Mack, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, he was in the pros in the NFL, and so now he took that job. The other 3 was was Deion Sanders, Jackson State to Colorado. Hobson, who was a white guy who left Alcorn and took Southern Miss, and of course
Willie Jeffries.
Willie Jeffries left South Carolina and went to Wichita State. So no other black coach has left the HBCU and got a job. So those four, we're gonna take those four, even though again Jerry Mack went to the pros and then jumped. Okay. On the FCS level, at that time it was Northern Iowa, Prairie View, and Valparaiso. Now it's been Norfolk, Alabama A&M, and we're hearing the UAPB might pop open.
Okay.
Division 2, you got Elizabeth City, Truman State, Adams State, Washburn, Northwestern Missouri State, Texas A&M Kingsville, Concord, HBCU, Delaware State in the FSCU just open up. So those are openings that have it open. But
it's funny.
Go ahead.
It's funny that you mentioned earlier tonight that 3 years ago, Eddie Robinson was selling houses, and now he's the dean of coaching in the SWAC.
Yeah. With Cornell Manor and Alabama A&M opening up right now, the guy who's been in there the most is Eddie Robinson, who, if you were going by a resume, I don't know how you would. Let me leave that alone. Eddie Robinson, which is played in NFL, very intelligent man, smart man, and right now he is the dean of the SWAC conference. So that's where we are. That's where
Coach,
we are.
let me ask you this question, not to get too far off on it. He's the dean. How much pressure is going to be on Eddie next year for him to finally win the SWAC?
Well, Coach, when a guy get a job like that, I don't know. He knows somebody that we don't know. So I guess, can you answer that question?
Well, I think it's going. I think again, because I'm just going to be honest with you, just not to get too far. Well, it is on the topic. Jack State is a year ahead of schedule because next year was supposed to be their year, so they're a year ahead of schedule. So we'll see what happens with the portal. You know, I mean, we don't know what's going to play out with that. But again, what's going to happen with the quarterbacks? I think it's going to be a lot. I think Eddie Robinson is good for Alabama State, but I think that champion. I think he's going to feel that Willie Simmons pressure this next year. That hey, we need you to get one because you still haven't beat FAMU and you still haven't beat Jack State. And whatever happens with Jack, if Jack State wins a Celebration Bowl, then you're going to have FAMU is 1-1, Jack State is 1-1 in the East, and then you're supposed to be now moving, and this year was supposed to be your year, and then you got all these defensive players. What's going to happen? So I think he's going to have a Willie Simmons coming to Jesus. Hey, we got to get this done. Celebration Bowl of bust next year.
Speaking of some of these opens, I see somebody said that Michael Vick. I've heard that Michael Vick is in negotiation with Norfolk. He's from the Tidewater area, and they I hear that. I don't know, but here's my opinion on Michael Vick. Michael Vick was a great athlete playing quarterback. I think Michael Vick was not a cerebral quarterback playing in NFL. He never won a Super Bowl. He didn't do well in the playoffs. So how well can he be a cerebral head football coach? I don't know. Not saying that anything was wrong with him mentally. I'm not saying that. When I say cerebral, mean that a guy that actually gets into his business, mind-wise, learning how to read coverage, learning why, and everything else around running a program. But if Norfolk want to go that direction, good luck. I just don't think it would work.
Let me ask you this question, Coach.
Go ahead.
Was Prime known as a cerebral player?
Yes, sir. Prime, Deion Sanders, not only in football, but as well as in baseball, as well as in football, media, and business. Yes, he had all that.
I think Dion doesn't get it as far as his football acumen. I think his problem is that he wants kids to do how he does it, and nobody has that level of talent that he has. But as far as his knowledge of the game, now I don't think he's a Coach Cole that he can X and O it from being an offensive coordinator. But as far as knowledge, I think he's ahead of Michael Vick. And I'm going to say this: I text a couple of people because I know a lot of people around that boy. I ain't heard all this what people saying that it's down the track as far as it is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, Coach,
can I follow up with why I say what I say?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I said he's cerebral. I didn't say he was cerebral as a head coach or he played defensive back. He was cerebral as a defensive back. He knew on 3rd and long what they was going to do. He knew on 3rd and short what somebody was going to do. He knew what favored that wide receiver was going to do. He was cerebral about, I'm a defensive back. Y'all going to pay me. I didn't say as a head coach. But what I'm saying is his think and thought pattern was total. So when he became a head football coach, guys, he knew what he didn't know. So what did he do? He went out and put all these great coaches around him, whether they were getting paid from Jackson State or just volunteered. He had several coaches that was volunteered because they had been at these 1A schools and at these big NFL programs, so they had money. They was coming in, staying in hotels just to work around Dion. And Dion understood that, and he knew that, and he let them into his circle. So you're right, and I believe what you said, Coach Bishop. As far as just being a head coach, no, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But he's learned how to be that because he's cerebral enough to know that I ain't got to be the smartest man in the room. Let me hire people around me.
Well, again, can Mike Vick do two things? Can he recruit and can he energize the fan base?
Well, I mean, he's going. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. As I say, I'm from Atlanta. I was here when Michael Vick got here. I know Michael Vick. I've thrown parties with Michael Vick. Michael Vick reminds me of the same thing. Michael Vick has a cult following. You see what I'm saying? He's a cult. He's just like Dion.
He's a cultural icon.
He's a cultural icon. So you're gonna have the Vickettes come out of everywhere, and they're gonna trash Norfolk, and they're gonna talk bad about Norfolk, and and what they should be doing, and that Arthur Blank should give them $1 billion and all that. And what I'm just gonna be honest with you, I think the problem with Michael Vick is going to have is I think it's going to be hard putting the staff together because, Coach, you can't just say get a coach. You got to know what coaches are to get a coach. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be a problem. I think that far as if he goes in there in that Tidewater area, I have been all up and down Norfolk. I got a lot of friends up that way. The talent is there. That's not going to be a problem. He walk in there, he going to be able to get kids. But to me, a Coach Cole, and he knows this, you can't just say, let me get a coach. Because I think that's what happened with Dion when he went to Colorado. He started picking guys that he didn't even know. How did that work out? You see what I'm saying? That did not work out well. To me, you have to be a coach to know what good coaches are. That's why I think T.C. Taylor is a better coach for Jackson State than Dion was. So it's the same thing with Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons is a coach. He really knows what to get the guys to coach with him. So I think that with Mike Vick, I think it'll be electric. But I'm going to tell you this. Do I believe that he will get at players and they still beat Trey Oliver? I still think Trey Oliver and Chinsbury will beat his ass.
Ain't no question, Coach. Ain't no question. I just don't think, man, a long time ago, man, I had an argument when Michael Vick first came to the NFL, and I was up in this bar with this defensive coordinator. We out on recruit trip, and I'm gonna make a long story short, we were arguing. He was talking about how Michael Vick gonna come in and change the NFL. And you guys know I don't really like a running guy. I like a pocket guy. I like a guy that can read coverages, get the ball to. I like a leader. And he kept on telling me how Michael Vick is going, man, he's going to come in. And I bet him. I said, Michael Vick. And let me say this. Let me say this before I go on. Michael Vick is a great player. He's a great player, great football player. I said, but he will never win the Super Bowl. just lately now that we have taught our black quarterbacks, it ain't just on your ability to run and make plays. Read coverages. Go to your checkdowns, your primary, your secondary. Now we getting those kids in. The kid at the Titans, the kid with the Washington Bullets. We're getting those kids not coming into the game and saying, I'm going to do it with my legs. If you look way back at Randall Cunningham, man, you can only do that for so long because you're playing against guys that can run just as fast as you can. This is the best of the best. How can the best quarterback that ever played a game in Tom Brady, I guarantee you Tom Brady probably run a 5-flat 40. But he's the best quarterback because he's cerebral, knowing what he sees. Now we got these young quarterbacks, man. You know, Doug Williams was a great one. Shea Harris was a great one. They just didn't get the accolades. But now we got them coming in. You know what I mean? The boy with the Titans. Man, give me his name. Damn, y'all know what I'm talking about. The boy down at Houston.
C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud.
Watch him. The boy at the Washington. Watch him. They coming in now, knowing how to put that back foot back and find a primary, their secondary, their third there. You can't run the ball as a quarterback and win the goddamn championship. You can't do it. You got to be able to use everybody around you. And when you can and when you have to, then you put the team on your back and make plays.
Well, Coach, this is what I'm saying. I heard all this same stuff when they hired Deion Sanders at Jackson State. I really can play a tape recorder about how people predicted Reggie Flood, Coach Cavill, Dr. Cavill, all these guys who were in this space.
They ain't never put no helmet on, but go ahead. They ain't put no helmet on, Coach.
Well, what I'm saying is all these guys, and they were getting a lot of guys who echoed and shared that sentiment about Prime, the learning. I remember back when Prime was coaching, people said the learning curve is a lot steeper than you think. That's what people were saying when Coach Prime came in, the learning curve. He's got to get over the learning curve. And then after he had a spring season, they're coming in laughing at him saying, you thought the spring season was bad. Get a load of this. This upcoming season, you're going to really, because you're going to be dealing with coaches who were able to practice all camp, and they're going to be prepared for Jackson State. He only ran through the conference like hot butter going through, a hot knife going through butter. That's all he did. That's all he did the second year.
Well, you can look at that. You can look at that two different ways, Coach. And we talked about this. And you brought this up, Coach Rocky, when you went and found them that, Coach, look at all these head coaches that ain't coaching no more.
Absolutely.
And when he ran against a good coach, he got beat. So I could,
So 3 years. Okay. So this is what I'm saying now. In the MEAC, it's a different ball game because you have more tenured coaches, right?
Yes.
You have more tenured coaches
with some experience in some of this.
Yeah. But my point is saying, that is that when Prime arrived, I believe Broderick Fobbs was here, right? Fred McNair was here, right?
Right.
Those were championship coaches, correct?
When Prime came through?
Yeah.
Was Fobbs there?
Yeah, he was there Fobbs was there definitely in the spring, and then he coached the following season.
Yeah.
Okay.
He coached that fall, and then that's when Hugh came.
Okay.
Hugh came the second year of Deion.
Okay. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is those were championship coaches, right?
Yeah.
And they took the same lick everybody else took.
Those two coaches.
Yeah, those were two championship coaches.
In the
MEAC, the only championship coach you'll have is Larry Scott, and he got his butt kicked all over the East Coast this year, and then Trey Oliver. All right. Well, you'll have Chennis Berry as well, but he's a second year coach.
Yeah.
He's a second-year coach. So what I'm saying is, I don't think, I know, again, I'm not saying, I don't know if Mike Vick will be successful at all, Coach. I have no idea what kind of coach he is. I don't know, does he have the passion for coaching? Does he have the organizational skills? Does he have a gift for calling plays? Does he have all that? There's so much we don't know. But I heard all this same commentary when Coach Prime came on the scene. All the same commentary. And Coach Prime, by any measure, was a dominant coach in the SWAC.
So what are we saying? I miss your point.
My point is this. I think as a celebrity coach, without any coaching pedigree, Norfolk can benefit for hiring a celebrity coach that will energize the fan base and be able to ignite recruiting
Okay.
and bring his network in to make that part of the Norfolk infrastructure.
Okay.
Mike Vick is a Nike ambassador.
This is why I disagree with you totally.
Okay.
If was a fifth, we all be drunk. And it doesn't happen very often, Coach. It doesn't happen very often that a guy has no coaching experience, no head coaching experience. I could see if he have coached somewhere. Hell, Michael Vick Super Saturday version 20. Somebody just sent me some stuff. Mr. Big Sportswear.
I wanted Rocky to post that. That was the event I did with Michael Vick. Rocky, I wanted you to post that to show when I was talking about how long I've known this cat. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, man, this is college Division 1A football, man. Everybody can't do this. Everybody can't do this. You got to make a dedication to it and get it done. Number one. Number two is that you got to look at the person. You know, you got to look at the body of work they've done. Now let me go on to now that Alabama A&M open up. Now you got a Sam Shade out there that would love to probably stay in the state of Alabama, move up to Alabama A&M and be a shoe-in. And he's a pro. He played professional football. He played for the national championship team. He's coached a high school to a state title. He has a guys on his staff that been coaching around. So now, let's go celebrity, because he's coming in with an ideal of how to get a program going, and he showed it on a Division II level. So Alabama A&M, don't be trying to put together a crew, to get a coach. Let me get the dorm director and the food service person, in the manager and the maintenance folks, and let's put together a committee. Run and get Sam Shade. Don't be like TSU and these others when Chinnisberry was open and these other coaches, Tremaine Jackson, and we are sitting there talking about interviewing. Go get Sam Shade. Alabama A&M, go get Sam Shade. Or go get Sean Gibbs at Fort Valley. Or go get Teddy Keaton or LC Cole. I definitely got to sell him. Go get him right now. Because they what, Rocky? They winners.
They winners.
We ain't messing around with no resume. Do you understand that the last several coaches in the SWAC didn't? You mean to tell me they looked at Eddie Robinson's resume of how many houses he sold? No, they gave him a job. Did they look at Mickey Joseph's resume? No, they gave him the job. My man at Thomas at Alcorn, they gave him the job. Surely they didn't look at Chris Dishman's resume and said that this is the resume that we need to turn Texas Southern around, when every place he's been, he hadn't been to a place over 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I know they didn't hire the dude at Mississippi Valley coaching wide receivers at a D2 school Bishop, he was at a D2 school and said he gonna turn Mississippi Valley around. They didn't look at resumes, but I'm giving you some qualified coaches. Do you agree with me, Bishop? Sam Shea qualified.
Well, I think
John Gibb qualified. L.C. Cole qualified. Teddy King qualified. But go ahead.
I think you can't argue. Well, so here's the okay. I'm going to play this because Scotty loves a celebrity coach. He made his case for this. But here's the thing: Sam Shade is a celebrity in Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's be clear.
Yes.
He knows that state. He was an All-American. He played in NFL. He knows the high school coaches. And we have had him, like I say, we don't talk about coaches on HBCU Coaches Corner. We actually interview coaches on HBCU Coaches Corner. So we don't know what they think. We hear what they think or they tell us here.
And can I just add one thing? Alabama loves Sam Shade.
It's not even close. That's what I'm saying. Anybody that knows Sam Shade and the quality of that brother, and and I pointed that out because a lot of our young listeners don't know what Sam Shade was. I do. I was in college with Sam Shade. He was a little bit younger than me, but I know the leader he was. So for Alabama, and I'm going to say this. I've heard a lot about A.D. Bryant. I think he's a forward-thinking A.D. I think that he's not going to go and say, let me get a Ray Lewis out of nowhere that doesn't know the area and the region. I mean, it's pretty much obvious.
He's my homeboy, Coach. He's my homeboy.
Yeah. So I think A.D. Bryant won't have any problem making that decision on that. I think the Norfolk thing is different because they have never been to the mountaintop. They're not a program. So it's kind of like, and this is why I got to give Anthony Robinson a lot of credit. He saw that Jackson State had hit rock bottom. And he kind of looked and said, you know what, I could get a coach, but because of all the other things we have, we can get Deion Sanders and it'll work. See, that doesn't work everywhere. I think actually for Norfolk, because they don't have anything to that level, I think the excitement will bring it. I don't know if, let's just say Sean Gibbs, which we know is a qualified coach, right? And this is what I talked about the FAMU thing. It's about fit. I don't think Sean Gibbs is a fit in Norfolk State. I think he's a perfect fit in North Carolina A&T. I think he goes to North Carolina A&T, they're back at it. So I think things are about fit. So I think for Norfolk, they're sitting back and saying, we could get another coach like they did with Dawson Oldham's and kind of put along, or we can try to make this big splash and see what happens. That's where I think I hear the big thing. But for me, I always think there are coaches like Teddy Keaton, like I say, Sam Shade, your brother, yourself, that are out there that could put a program together and knows where, because the only thing that makes me nervous, and I'm going to say this for Michael Vick, when you got to go, see, a lot of people don't understand how hard coaching is. I don't think they understand the time what it takes. See, it sounds good that I'm Michael Vick and I can go and make a phone call. That ain't the coaching part. The coaching part is when you got these other coaches that got to coach and you got to coach them. That's the thing.
Can I say this? Let me say this. Ashley Robinson, making that choice and getting Prime to catch, Coach, that will never happen again. It will never happen again. Coach, we've had some, we were just talking about Prime's knowledge of being a head coach. We were just putting that in question, wasn't we? Not too long ago, right? Now, in this conversation. And we knew he had all the other attributes, the swag, the brand. But we didn't know that he could get in here and do what he done. You know what I'm saying? Which was great. You know what I'm saying? And Prime is a cerebral athlete, guys. You know what I mean? He's no different than Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? To me, he's a cerebral athlete. He makes players want to play for him, and that's just a talent that most people don't have to. So let's throw him out. But man, these guys that we just talked about, Coach, they should be somewhere coaching. We gotta be. What's happening to our conference is we don't have those guys. Those guys, you know what I'm saying, Coach? We don't have those guys.
Hey, Sonny Dykes Sonny Dykes had been in coaching 25 years. His dad had coached for 40 years. Prime's first game, he kicked Sonny Dykes' ass with what people would say was an inferior roster in his first game.
Yeah, but they went 4-8.
No. I'm talking about a coach that had been in coaching 26, 27 years, who had been at his program, had taken his program to a national title game, and on Prime's first Division 1A appearance, Prime put his foot in his ass.
Yeah, but he had the two best players on the field, though. You can't discount it. You got to get that Jack State. Listen, man, he brought some luggage to Colorado.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you this. The one thing that Deion, people gotta understand something that people I think keep forgetting. Deion brought a quarterback with him, his son. Okay? That now is looking like to be a first round. And this goes back to what my friend that was a scout said. Talent is talent. The kid had talent. So when you bring a quarterback with you, like he was able to do, that was trained up, that he knew how the kid was going to execute, that's an advantage. Shedeur went to Colorado already playing at a high level. So I'm not shocked. He was a better quarterback than the kid on the other side of the field.
Guys,
Travis Hunter, come on, man.
Let me say this, and you guys agree with me. Up on the PWI level, and I think we talked about this a little bit on the off the schedule, and we talked about equity and that kind of thing. How come PDIs replicate winning coaches? We can't even count. Just think about it, Bishop and Rocky and the people who listen to it. How many winning football coaches that go from school to school, or go from the school to being an analyst? How long do they stay out? They go from one school to the next. No matter what happens, whether they beat their wife, whether they get caught drunk, whether they be so drunk they fall off the stage, whether they get caught in the bar, why does PWIs
so coach, I
think
can
that's not a major issue?
Coach, I can explain that. And coach, and I got this from Coach Campbell. The fact of the matter is that there are 20 Division I black jobs.
No. You lose it.
No. Listen. Let me hold it. The fact of the matter is that there are only 20 Division I AA HBCU jobs, and there's what, 170 Division I PWI jobs?
Yes, sir.
The demand is greater than the supply on the PWI side. It's so much greater. You say that the 25% of coaches are winners, correct?
Yes.
I think you're wrong. I think less than that are winners.
Okay.
On the PWI side, coach, less than that are winners. So at the end of the day, the sheer volume of opportunities that are available factor into why they're recycled more frequently. Go ahead, Campbell. You explained it much more eloquently than I did, but
I think I understand what you're saying. So if it's the mass, then why do I got to repeat the same winning coaches over and over? And they bounce from school to school to school, because winning is important. They don't go by they go by what I need, what's going to represent our university, what's going to win us football games to make money. And not only just the money, what does our alumni love? They love winners. They going to come back. They going to give money. They understand that athletics is the front porch. Let me say it again. Athletics is the front porch, the flowers and all that. No, we cannot hire a losing football coach at Ohio State. No, we cannot hire a losing coach at Alabama because I like him. No, this is the representative. This is the first part of the year. We need somebody that's going to come in here and win. Period. Vanderbilt academic school, 3.9 GPA averages as the players on their team. If they don't win, guys, they get rid of the coach and go try to find a winner. At Georgia, Kirby Smart, violations, everything, and I don't want to get in that, surely. They go find a winner, or they go get a winner from a winning program. So what is the equity? What are we doing in these 4 conferences? What is important at these 4 conferences? That's my question.
Well, I think we're going to find out, because I think the problem is, and most of our ADs are risk adverse. I think they are very risk adverse. See, one thing I love about white people. See, you know, I had somebody told me this. A black man told me this. Old black man. Black people walk out the door thinking failure and surprised that they make it to success. White folks walk out the door thinking success and surprised at the end of a failure. You see the mentality there? So when a white AD says, I'm going to get this young hotshot coach that hasn't been a coordinator, but I see something in him. Like we got black coaches like that. Well, he don't have his resume. It ain't long enough. It ain't, you know, he needs to do extra. He needs to be this. So the question will be now, when you do have a Teddy Keaton and a Sam Shade who are proven, right?
And they Division II schools.
Division II who are proven, will that be enough for these now FCS programs to say that is enough for me to make that guy coach? Because Teddy Keaton, if you say, listen, I'm going to make this argument. If I'm Norfolk, I'm calling Teddy Keaton before I call Michael Vick. I am. Now, I understand all the fanfare and everything, but I'm going to tell you what I know Teddy Keaton's going to do. He's going to score points. And if you score points, you'll be able to recruit a whole bunch of players that want to come play for you.
And he probably got a quarterback too.
Thank you. So he ain't got to work because he knows how to evaluate. Sam Shade, you know what I know? If he goes to Alabama A&M, he going to bring all them kids from Miles, like Tennant Berry, and they're going to be ready to play, and he's going to get some kids from Alabama. He's going to recruit, and all of a sudden Alabama A&M is going to be knocking on somebody's door.
Because his resume say he's a winner. I'm not hard, my friend. I'm not. And see, these athletic directors are afraid of hiring somebody they control instead of hiring somebody that can come in and win.
Well, okay.
See, the deals in PWI schools is when you're an athletic director, yeah, you got to raise money. That's one thing they do. But don't bring no loser in here, because guess what? You and him is going somewhere else.
So that's what I was also gonna bring up, right? Those AD jobs are so rare for black men and women who get those jobs, right? And what I believe, Coach Campbell, Coach Cole and Mr. Campbell, is that they would rather be in a situation where they're with a man or woman that they're comfortable with rather than have somebody that's competent. They choose comfortability over competency.
You know what I call that? Losers. Losers. That's what I call that. God.
You think Eddie Robinson got the job because he was competent, because he had a track record of winning? No, he got the job because somebody had a relationship with him and they felt comfortable with him.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Since we have a championship game, and this was a lot of talk about Coach Graves being hired. They should have got Marshall Falk. They should have got Ed Reed. Who was the other celebrity that Southern should have got? It was another celebrity. And they got.
And they got Terrence Graves, and they ain't about to win shit, Coach.
Whoa. Wait a minute. He is 7-1 in the conference, 8-4 overall. So, see, I don't know if Marshall Faulk does that.
And let me say this about Terrence Graves. He's been with Pete Richardson, championship after championship after championship. He was with Fobbs, championship after championship after championship. No matter, and no matter, Coach, when you look at Terrence Graves' resume, he know how to win championship.
That hire looks really good right now.
That
hire looks really good.
I gotta say that. I gotta say that.
So Campbell, let me ask you this: Terrence Graves or Eddie Robinson? Who you taking? Your job depends on it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I just like what Eddie Robinson stands for. I think Eddie Robinson is a little bit younger.
Terrence Graves or Cozy? Who you taking?
I'm taking Cozy.
Terrence Graves.
You kind of contradicting yourself a little bit, ain't you?
No, he asked me what I'm taking. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm taking Cozy.
You would take no.
No. And listen, but hold on. Well, listen. Now,
damn Cozy. I'm talking about you would take Eddie Robinson.
Let me tell you something about Eddie Robinson. Let me tell you what I like.
Hold on, go. Can I say? Let me get just 1 second. Of course, this is nothing about Eddie Robinson, the man. He's a Superman. He's doing a great job with the experience he had. But Coach, he coming in with them selling duplexes.
If Eddie Robinson was in the West, who you think would have won the West if Alabama State was in the West? And they didn't have to play Jack State and FAMU.
Well, it's bigger than that, Coach. It's bigger than that.
So
I'm just saying. A team in the West that got a facility that is better than theirs. It ain't a team in the West that have a tradition, meaning coming from their great stadium that where it sits in a city. Let me finish. Where it sits in a city.
Coach, you like Terrence Graves. Terrence Graves is your man, Coach, because no school on the West, other than Grambling, has the tradition of
like Southern.
Yes.
And I'm talking about the talent base that's sitting right there at the drop of a hat. Southern should be good just because it's Southern.
So Coach, I couldn't pick Eddie Robinson over Terrence.
No, well, listen,
I gotta be Coach. I gotta be straight. That's an insult to
listen. I'm not. Listen, first of all, I'm not insulting him because this.
I know, Coach. I
want to be clear because sometimes what people will do, they'll misrepresent what we're saying.
Right.
I said clearly that was a great hire for some because people wanted to go to the celebrity route. That's what we heard. Terrence Graves showed that he was the man for the job, for that job. Now you asked me a different question. So when you asked me about Eddie Robinson, I'm an Eddie Robinson fan. I have known Eddie Robinson for 30 years. I like what that man stands for because I know him personally. That's the reason why I say that.
So Coach, I'm saying this, Coach. And I know you got a lot of respect for Terrence Graves. You know his resume and his track record back and forth. But this is what I'm saying. I'm talking as head coaches. The 3 years that Eddie Robinson has coached on the SWAC as being a SWAC head coach, he's proven to be competent, and a lot of people will say his team has overachieved.
Easy. Because he has had to play head knockers. You gotta understand in the 4 years, he's been there 3 years, right? Eddie's been there 3 years, right?
Yes.
You gotta understand something. He coached against JSU super team, FAMU super team, and then a good Jack State. You know what I'm saying? And his quarterback got hurt when he was supposed to have the super team.
So this is what I'm saying.
There was no way he was going to win.
I think we have to understand what we're doing right here. We're grading Terrence Graves off of expectations. And I think that's unfair off the expectations we had for Southern this year. In totality, if you look at, I'll give you credit, Mr. Campbell, for saying this, based on what Southern is supposed to be, based on what they're supposed to be, we'll see what they really are on Saturday or whether or not their program is on the way. Because Saturday is the true measure of where Southern should be. Wouldn't you agree, Coach Cole?
Oh no, without a doubt, coach. Without a doubt.
We'll find out where Terrence Graves is.
They just
and
limped
where
it.
his program is.
Instead of them winning, instead of them winning convincingly and getting there, instead of hobbling in, you got to Grambling down, Grambling
Coach,
is down.
your alma mater gave them a game.
Gave them a game, handed them a ticket. Grambling handed them a ticket. Hell, Grambling was beating them and they came back at the end. So yeah, I get that. But I just, and I brought this up, and maybe our fans, before we go in the show, I know we get along. Maybe the fans can either email or call in on why I want to ask this question. Why is there not the same equity when it comes to hiring a coach as in PWIs as it in the HBCU? Meaning PWIs will recycle a coach. If he a winner, and y'all correct me, if he a winner, he gonna always have a goddamn job. Whether it's a head job somewhere, it's gonna be a coordinator job.
They'll go get him off of a desk, coach. He could be doing games on CBS, having a great time, and they'll go pull him off the desk and give him a job.
That's right.
I.e. Mac Brown.
Right.
Guy was 68 years old. Didn't have no intentions of coaching. Right. They go pull him off the CBS desk and give him a job in North Carolina.
So why should that happen in PWI schools that it doesn't happen in HBCU schools?
That's a great question.
It's like once we get a tag on some of these head coaches, that's it. Game over. You know what I mean? Why is it that the guys at PWIs, Hugh Freeze, to give you example, he had the prostitutes' numbers in his phone, didn't he, coach?
He was calling them from the office.
He was calling from the Ole Miss's cell phone that was issued to him by Ole Miss. That's how they caught his ass. Right.
Kiffin, so mmany violations. Saban, so many. Petrino.
Sarkisian gave a alumni booster speech drunk.
Right. Sarkisian, who's the head coach at Texas. So if you don't know, my man Napers at Florida, he actually coached with a show cause. He was the head coach with a show cause. What's my man? He out now, but he just ready to find his job. He was at Ohio State. You know what I'm talking about. He's in the analyst. Urban Meyer. He'll be back if he want to be back. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of them have jumped around. You know what I'm saying? Jumped around. But that don't happen in the HBCU realm. Can some of our listeners of you speak on that of why they think that is? Why do we get so down on black coaches that's it? So every time they name
black coaches,
winning
black coaches, whether it be Doug Williams, whether it be Broderick Forbes, Melvin Spears, Johnny Cole, LC Cole. Why do they get down on those guys that are still pursuing a career in coaching and they are winners? Right.
Those coaches that get recycled in the PWI realm are winners. They win football championships.
Well, Coach, let me answer two things. I can answer one part of it.
Go ahead.
With the PWIs, and I had to explain this to a lot of people, to a lot of my youngsters. They didn't know how this thing worked, and they were like, "How did Alabama get the board so quick?" First of all, there are powerful white agents that move that chessboard. Jimmy Sexton, make sure he feels every time. Not the AD. Jimmy Sexton does that.
Yeah.
He had Lane Kiffin. You want this Alabama John? Lane was like, "No, you gonna get my boy the boards and go there," and that's how that works.
Right.
He represents over half the coaches in the SEC. Okay.
I know Mr. Sexton.
There you go. So now the next part of it is when you have ADs, they are very comfortable. They know people. And this goes back to what we talked about. How many of our ADs have been around enough to have a database of coaches? If I'm the AD at Michigan, if I'm the AD at Ohio State, I've been around, or especially them good old boys in the SEC. I know people, and I've been around them.
And the ADs guys are based on picking a winner to come to this university. Their job is not to pick the Pope.
Yeah, but what I'm
TD
telling
Jakes.
you, but that's what I'm saying. It's very easy. It is very easy when you have a pool that you've either been around or no. So now, here's the thing at HBCU land. To your point, we get Coach X. I'm not going to use you because that's not a good. Just to keep you out of it.
Please.
We got Coach X. If our ADs have moved so much, they don't even know who Coach X is sometimes. There's no relationship there. There's no super agent relationship that can pick up the phone and say, you know, I got Coach X sitting over here, Jackson State, FAMU, Southern. Might want to give him a shot. It doesn't work like that. So now what happens is it gets smaller and smaller, and then we have a situation. Let me not say that school. A school hires a guy that you was like, why did he hire him? Because he wasn't a previous coach. He didn't have this. So this is what starts to happen where we don't want to hire this guy because, again, it has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. We look at a Coach X. Well, why did he leave this job? Well, you know, something happened there. You know, you don't want to touch that. I've seen that happen too many times. I've been around it. I know these people. And they choose to always use one thing. Now, the other 9 things are great, but that one thing, you know, black people are, well, you know.
Someone brings up this guy right here. And it's a little known fact. This guy right here, when he was given a show cause, he just went to the pros. He stayed in the pros till his show cause was cleared. And then what? He came back and got a head coaching job, coach.
And let me throw this one out, and I guess we can move on. How and what and why was it okay for Grambling to hire the coach from Baylor? What's his name?
Art Browse.
How did Art Browse get the okay to be hired at Grambling?
Obviously got it from the AD.
Yeah. And I think Hugh Freeze, I think he was trying to allow Hugh Freeze.
The same month he was announced at Grambling as the coach, he was also cleared by the NCAA.
Right.
Again, all violations. He was cleared, coach. He was cleared that same month. Earlier that month, he had been cleared.
But how can and I'm gonna throw me in this deal.
Okay.
How can a HBCU hire a guy that had been involved with being rapes, okay? And it was okay. And we bring him in and we hire him at HBCU, okay? And violations or whatever happened and all that kind of stuff. But yet we have a problem hiring a Johnny Cole who broke a policies. But when you look at the policy, if you look into the policy that was broke, it was a university policy. It wasn't a Johnny Cole policy. It was a university policy. So I just how do we justify that? And I know some other white coaches have came into our league that have quote unquote what people say have violated some things, but we hire them with ease, and then they can bounce all through our conference, and we be okay with that. So that's what I want to say, but that's it. I want to just get that out there, and maybe we could dialogue with this Coach Bishop.
Hey, Coach, Coach, one thing about these coaching hires, there are going to be jobs that are filled, and there are going to be other jobs that come open. We know every coaching cycle. There's going to be somebody in late December that's let go, Coach. Happens every year.
I like what Reginald Stubblefield said. He said, Coach Cole, we are blacks. Oh, you got it. We as blacks still don't know our value nor our worth. Our dollar is worth more than the white dollar, but we choose to spend it and recycle it with the white coaches. I get that. I get that.
You know, again, Coach, I want to say this as a football fan and as a black man. As a football fan, I want Black institutions to hire qualified, experienced, innovative coaches, right? I especially want them to hire Black men who fall in that category, right? I'm actually not turned off that they hire a white guy. I know some people are, but I'm not turned off by it because I know that winning ultimately benefits the institution, whether it's by a white guy, a blue guy, a green guy. Grambling winning benefits the institution. Texas Southern winning ultimately benefits the institution. And guess what? At a Black institution, eventually, just like at a white institution, even if you hire a Black guy, eventually the job is going to revert back to a white guy. You're not going to hire just straight Black guys at a LSU or Syracuse or North Carolina or Oklahoma. You're not going to hire just straight Black guys. It's good, and just like Grambling, if they hire a white guy, it's going to eventually revert back to a Black guy, and a Black guy is going to be able to benefit from the success potentially that the previous coach built up. My point is saying this is this. The problem is, in my opinion, is not who we hire as coaches, right? The problem is the level of support that we get from fans and donors. That's what's really different. That's what's really different.
Okay, let me piggyback off of that. In my 40 years at HBCU, and you will, like you always tell me, Ms. Bishop, you appreciate this. Florida A&M is Florida A&M because they always have had a great football team from the 70s to today. Grambling is Grambling because a guy named Eddie Robinson, great football programs, coach. Look where Grambling is. You got to be going to Grambling to get to Grambling. Do you know what I mean? Prairie View A&M is the same way in the 70s used to win. When they shit fell down, and because you asked me that just the other week, coach, about why does people don't look at Prairie View's program? Because it went an 8-year stint of not winning a game. All right. But when the 70s and early 80s, people used to come out and watch Prairie View A&M. Texas Southern is where it is because of Texas Southern. The only reason why Texas Southern has been the most populated college, Black college, is because it sits in the 4th largest city in the country. That's all. It was a suitcase, and we had poor football. All right. Mississippi Valley, I just came from there, man, hadn't grown one iota. But when Jerry Rice and Willie Totten, in those years when Gunsling Coon, man, you couldn't buy a ticket to come to Mississippi Valley State. And they still known today between those 3 names, Gunslinger, Rice, and Totten. You move on to Alcorn State with Marino Castle. Greatness, man. Greatness. You know what I'm saying? Alabama State jumped into the SWAC. Alabama State is still in the middle. Alabama A&M is still in the middle. Then you come to a school called North Carolina A&T, where North Carolina Central was the place at one time in Division II. But when North Carolina Central won those 3 national championships, was on television under Coach Wild Broadway, that school skyrocketed. They could say about the academics and the engine, but I'm going to tell you that athletics, again, I said it before, is the front porch of any university. The difference is do that university embrace that? And most PWIs, they embrace it. It don't matter the level. They embrace it. I coached in Kansas, and I went around to those Division II schools. They could compete with our FCS schools because they embrace athletics. Athletics, academics, it ain't one over the other. It goes together. And if you don't think so, and if you don't think they hire the right football coach, a guy that can make us win, we're going to always be where we are and not progressing and moving in the direction that we need to be in. That's what I say.
Yeah, Coach. Duke is Duke not because of their fine academic program.
Nobody knows the president of these winning.
Duke is Duke because of basketball.
Who's the president of South Carolina State? I know the basketball coach, the women's basketball coach. I know her. I'm telling
But
you.
yeah, coach, we about to get up out of here. We got 2 minutes to get up out of here. Campbell, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Listen, man, I want to say something. Hey, man, I want everybody to, go to Jackson, Mississippi. Southern folks, go up there, have a good time. Jackson State people have a good time. But what I don't want to do, man, don't be the story. And what I mean by that, a negative story. Football players play hard. If you win or lose, congratulate your opponent, walk off the field with pride. Fans, I know a lot of y'all get rowdy. Hey, man, I know the FTP and all that stuff. But, hey, man, Jackson is going to be Jackson. Respect Jackson. And Southern people, come up to Jackson, respect. Hey, listen, I heard people, it be fights and stuff. Man, I've been around Jackson State and Southern for 50 years of my life. That is a hard-fought game, but the fans are great fans, and Southern usually comes up to respect Jackson. But some of y'all on these, Twitter and all that, man, cut that foolishness out, man. Allow these boys to have a great championship game because you're going to be our champion. You're going to be the SWAC champion. And whoever the SWAC champion, I'm going to root for you to go and beat South Carolina State because I'm a SWAC guy. I was born SWAC. I am SWAC. So I expect you to go in there and uphold that because only 2 schools have won it. So I'm looking for the 3rd. And I'm looking for Jackson State to do it. And if Southern, you go there, I'm going to root for you too. So, hey, man, y'all have a good time in Jackson. I might show up Saturday morning. If not, I'm going to be watching and supporting it because this is our championship. This is our championship, and we need to support it.
That's right. That's right. HBCU Championship, man. And I brought up some subjects today because I got to get an answer. I was trying to find an answer. Why not Johnny Cole for one of these jobs? And I had a chance to be on an interview just not long ago where the guy was really, really bashing me and my brother, and you had issues and you had problems and you had issues here and you had. And I just got to get this. And I've never started this show to talk about me. I never have started. This show was because I felt that we needed as Black coaches, and I wanted to be able to extend myself to them. But I just got to say that can you leave LC Cole and Johnny Cole? If you're going to talk about us 20 years later, talk about the things that we brought, the happiness we brought, the money we brought to HBCU, the representation. It's time out for that. We don't do the PWI coaches like that, just focus on all the negative. Johnny Cole didn't break no violations at Alabama State. Johnny Cole didn't have no violations at Lane College. Yeah, I did have a violation at Texas Southern. And that violation was over-signing of scholarships. And if anybody know about scholarships, it takes several signatures. And then there's a line, there's a compliance guy, there's the faculty rep, there's the athletic director, there's the assistant athletic rep, and there's the financial aid director. So all of them had to sign it. And that's why they put all this in place. And we, as a staff, oversigned scholarships. But how could you have fixed it? Well, you get 30, and it was over initial. You get 30 initial scholarships every year, okay? And all you had to do to fix it, because teams oversign all the time in the SEC. In the FCS, they get 25. Sometimes they sign 27, 28, 30. But the next year, you take them off of your signing period. We could have done the same thing at Texas Southern. But we didn't do that because we had other issues in 13 out of 14 sports that our academic person was making eligible and they weren't eligible. So we had out of 14 sports, 13 sports played an ineligible player, as well as in mine. But I understand that I am the head football coach, So instead, that is called what you call a lack of institutional control. So the conversation went the other night was, well, coach, you had these issues at these schools, and AD have his options not to want to trust you or hire you because we got to protect the institution. Well, at the end of the day, I get that, but the institution is the issue. Well, why do you say that, Coach Cole? Well, you can't hire one compliance guy to watch over 375 people, and especially if he can't handle it. You can't hire one academic advisor to handle 375 athletes. You can't hire one AD to handle all these people. That's what I was under when I was there. So the institution got to be better. When you look back at Black institutions, and I got to speak about Texas Southern University, we've had 10 presidents since I've been a part of this institution. And I'm not bashing Texas Southern. That's throughout this conference. I know about Division II and the SIAC conference. I know about academic fraud and all those things. I've been through those things, not as a coach, but as assistant coach, and watching how things go about in HBCU football, in the HBCU realm. Everything is not clean, as you say. So as an institution, institutions, we got to get better at hiring competent people, putting people in place. Tennessee State just came out with an article about the financial aid director is suing the school. Tuskegee 5 years ago had found out that two or three of people in their own inside were stealing money. We had something going on with some content with Jackson State. The president caught up in a sexual ring. It goes on and on and on. So I always would ask myself, then why is it so hard on me and LC Cole, and want to come up with that reason? Why? We're championship coaches. We're winning. We graduate kids, from school. We produce winners, not just on the field and off the field. And we build men, not just athletically, but academically, socially, spiritually. So I just want at one time what I'm saying is, I don't want nothing. I don't want you to give me or my brother nothing. All I want you to do at this time, after 15 years and 20 years, guys, give us a break. Respect what we brought to the game. Respect that when we were under the helms of these HBCU programs, we were first class and we done it the right way. Me and my brother has never, ever knowingly put a kid on the field and we knew that they were ineligible. So I just want to make sure I'm good. Man, my brother is good. I mean, he's good financially. He owns houses. He's done a great job for him and his family financially. Guys, I'm good, just to represent HBCU sports. I'm on television now. I'm an analyst now. I'm a teacher. I've passed 4 different background checks in 4 different states. I can coach anywhere or I can teach anywhere in America. I have my master's. I've done a great job with my life and I'm good. I'm happy, man. But guys, give us a break, man. Please give the Cole brothers a goddamn break. Please give us a break. I'm asking you. All right. We more than just rule violator. We're not. My brother, matter of fact, was vindicated from Alabama State. And that went for 8 years. 8 years. All right. I didn't break a rule at Alabama State. I didn't break a rule at Lane College. I violated a rule at Texas Southern University of oversigning a scholarship. And NCAA felt because I had some experience, they gave me a show cause, which was over in 2015. Okay? It was over in 2015. But I still love HBCUs. I'm here every night. I'm not getting paid. I'm putting these black men out there to let people know that we can coach football at black colleges. We just not black coaches. We're good coaches. And not just me. We got a bunch of great ones, man. And a bunch of great ones came through. Matter of fact, Bill Hayes, which is William Bill Hayes, coached at North Carolina A&T, coached at Winston-Salem, it's got a statue going up. A statue. Black HBCU football coach got a statue going up. Man, what can I say about Pete Richardson and Rod Broadway and Doug Williams and Melvin Spears and Kamaji? These great coaches, man, that came through this conference. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we got a lot to talk about, good than negative. So with that saying, Johnny Cole is going to tie a knot at the end of the rope. And I'm holding on tight that my HBCU people start appreciating Johnny Cole and LC Cole. And I'm holding on tight. I got that knot. Because ain't nobody bad like me and LC Cole. We winners, man. And I appreciate you guys following this broadcast. Thank you. And I'm out.